Yes, I finally managed to obtain it. A person, with a hoarse voice, exclaimed, full of exhaustion. He looked haggard with a face full of wrinkles, yet young at the same time, like a youth who has aged much. His hair was white, while his nose sharp and his lips dried. It's been 10 years since Tien Long managed to obtain the death note. I have only used it to kill my one and only enemy back then, and I have not used it since then. He sighed, feeling the passage of time. Walking out of the cave, he proceeded to get off the mountains to go to the airport. It's time to go back to my homeland to pull off this crazy idea that has been gnawing at my heart since 8 years ago. After arriving at the airport, Tien Long boarded the airplane and returned to China. After going to his home, he started having second thoughts about his plan at the last minute, i.e. it's do or die. I do not have much of a choice. I do not have much time to live in this world anyways. Tien Long comforted himself. He packed his things and went out of the house. All right, it's time to leave this world. Silently muttering that, Tien Long left for the place ancient temple that has many rumors, including that it's connected to another world. Honestly, my chances of crossing over are pretty low, way low. I only thought of this idea because having only few more years left to live makes me feel useless and empty. I want to live more. After arriving at the ancient temple, he searched the whole day for any unusual signs. This place is pretty abandoned, yet it's kept clean. Why is that? Tien Long muttered. After seeing that he has not found anything for today, Tien Long decided to sleep. Just as he was sleeping in his tent, a sound startled him awake. Who's there? Tien Long shouted. Whoa, do not startle me, old man, the young man exclaimed. Hearing that he was called old man, Tien Long's eyes started twitching. Who are you, little man? Tien Long asked, even though he knew the answer. Me, I'm Xiao Yi. Why are you here? I'm hired by the nearby temple to clean this place every week and patrol once in a while. Hearing that, Tien Long was astonished. Was not this place abandoned? Yeah, it was, but it's now the property of the nearby temple. They bought it a month ago. Oh, I see, Tien Long said. Now that you understand that it's a private property, should not you be leaving? Xiao Yi asked. Yeah, once it's dawn I will leave. It's pretty late right now. Reasonable. I do not want you camping out here tomorrow, old man. Just leave. All right, then Xiao Yi left the ancient temple. Still, what is he doing here at night? Does he have a rendezvous with a woman or something? Tien Long chuckled. Looks like I do not have any time left to sleep. This old body of mine cannot take this anymore. Shouting in his mind, Tien Long started searching the place again. Switching on the torchlight, Tien Long started looking around for any kind of unusual signs in the place he has not searched yet. An hour has passed since he continued his search. Moving around, Tien Long entered a room. He came in front of a wall and started tapping around. Asterisk talk talk, asterisk asterisk talk talk, asterisk asterisk talk talk, asterisk. A muffled kind of sound echoed across the room. Yes, found it. He pushed that certain part of the wall which created the muffled sound. An underground door opened in the room which made Tien Long check it immediately. He checked for some traps for some time. He could not find any, which made him feel a bit better. Tien Long started moving down the underground door. He climbed down a lot of stairs and arrived in front of an iron door. Tien Long stared at the switch right beside the iron door and pulled it down. The iron door opened up and Tien Long entered the underground area. Tien Long gasped in astonishment as he saw the unknown formation. The outer circle was spherical in shape, while the inner circle was oval in shape with an eye in it. Oh, this must be the formation which makes this place unusual. Tien Long walked towards the formation and arrived at the center of the formation. That's a creepy-looking eye, all right. I should probably be in the center of this formation to increase my chances. Tien Long took out a stone, which emitted a faint green and purplish light. The transmigration stone. Tien Long's eyes shone brightly. If the nearby temple people knew if that I had the stone, would they become mad? Tien Long laughed loudly. Tien Long then walked to the stone, which looked like a podium. An obvious place to keep the switch to activate the formation. I like it. The switch was half spherical in shape, and it kept glowing. Does this mean they have charged this formation already? Perfect. Tien Long exclaimed. The formation takes at least 2 years to charge, which Tien Long did not know about. If he knew, he certainly would not have approached this place. But why did they charge this formation? It cannot be that they are warmly welcoming me, is it? Tien Long was deeply in doubt and could not help but joke. HMPH. Thinking about this is useless. After I activate this formation, either I die or live in another world. Tien Long stopped wasting time thinking about it. Tien Long took out the death note as he sighed. It's time. Tien Long took out a pen and wrote in the death note, Tien Long death by heart attack. Tien Long activates the formation, and during the space-time travel his soul jolted out from his body. His soul then enters the transmigration stone. After the space-time travel ends, his soul possesses a body that is weak, below 20 years of age, using the transmigration stone, and after 5 minutes dies of heart attack. His Tien Long drew a cold breath. The death note can control and kill people to a certain extent, meaning that it is capable of attacking the soul. Since it can control people, it should be able to control the soul to an extent. It's fine. I will be tying the transmigration stone behind my head. There's not much distance between my soul and the stone, so it should not be a problem for the death note to succeed. If only my theory is correct. Damn. Stop getting cold feet already. I've done it now. There's no going back. Tien Long made a determined face and started the formation. As the underground area trembled, space-time fluctuations appeared. The formation had activated a space-time passage. Tien Long went to the center of the formation immediately and left his fate to luck. Goodbye, Earth. Tien Long was absorbed into the space-time tunnel and suffered a fate extremely bad than people getting crushed by a huge rock. He was pressured by the spatial tunnel. He felt like his body was being grinded by thousands of blades. Why is not this spatial tunnel not stable? I'm doomed. Tien Long saw his hand being disintegrated by the spatial turbulence. Haha, it's over. Just when his shoulder started to disintegrate, Tien Long's soul jolted out of his body and entered the transmigration stone. Tien Long did not notice that his death note being shredded to dust. A black book spirit flew out from it and entered the transmigration stone. Tien Long then saw his body being disintegrated into nothingness, which made him nauseous and puke, but he could not, as he was in his soul form. The transmigration stone then flew in the space tunnel and made it to the other side of the tunnel. Tien Long could not count how much time has passed. He was listless through the whole journey, mourning the loss of his body and the death note. The transmigration stone flew out of the spatial tunnel. Tien Long arrived to a brand new world. Meanwhile, on Earth, who activated the formation? The head priest of the nearby temple flew into an anger fit and started breaking the nearby furniture. Check the abandoned temple immediately. The head priest shouted out loud. Many people ran away to check the abandoned temple quickly. The head priest then calmed down after a minute and then harumphed. HMPH. I do not know who activated the formation, but traveling in it is useless. Countless experiments has been made, and we do not even know if a person has managed to reach the other side. Sometimes the body disintegrates even before one enters that incomplete and unstable formation. It is totally useless. What do you mean by useless? A voice could be heard coming out of a bald man who appeared out of nowhere. We have confirmed that it is indeed connected to another world through various means. If only we had the transmigration stone which can hold a soul, we might be able to reach the other side. The bald man sighed. HMPH. What use is there to have the stone? If you cannot move the soul to the stone, it is still useless. Heh, you may not have a method to move your soul, but I do. The bald man sneered. Too bad. The transmigration stone appears every 1,000 years, and it should have appeared by now considering the last appearance of it. Quick, search for it. I know, the head priest replied. A man came running quickly. Head priest, we found Xiao Yi outside the temple, and he. The man hesitated. He what? The head priest was impatient. The man's face was full of black lines. Quick, tell. He was fucking a woman under the tree nearby the abandoned temple and escaped once he saw us. The head priest was stunned. while the bald man started laughing out loud. "Kill both of them and feed them to the dogs." He, head priest, "What? That woman is your illegitimate daughter." The head priest sprayed a mouthful of blood and fainted while the bald man laughed out loud madly. The transmigration stone disintegrated, which caused the green-purplish glow to wrap around Tien Long's soul. The glow then traveled somewhere faster than the speed of light, a place few kilometers away from the stone, which appeared in the air few moments ago. "Not good, he's not going to make it," a middle-aged man sighed, full of sadness. That middle-aged man was wearing a blue armor with a tiger imprinted on it. It was quite damaged. "He's been in coma ever since you found him. Is it even worth to care that much for a child you do not have relations with, Gray?" Another middle-aged man with the same blue armor asked. "I picked him up. Then I should be the one to take care of him." "Shut your mouth, Mel," Gray snapped back at him. He had an irritated expression. "That's it. Enough of your bullshit, Gray. You do not even do the things Captain commanded properly. All you do is take care of that child. Is that child your illegitimate son?" Mel could not help but find trouble with Gray. "I know you have some enmity with me, Mel. Stop finding fault with me time and time again. If you have the guts, let's fight." Gray unsheathed his sword out of his scabbard. "You think I am afraid of you? I will show you who's after the captain in this Blue Tiger mercenaries." Mel also unsheathed his sword and took a pose to fight. Hearing that he indirectly accepted the fight, Gray shot out with an unbelievable speed for his cultivation base. He created a blinding light with his sword, which covered the whole area with brightness. What a battle technique! Mel almost peed his pants when he saw this. He did not move since he could not see, as his eye was blinded by the light. And at this moment, a glow which was dimmed by the brightness emitted shot to the child who stopped breathing just now. Both of them did not notice it. Mel opened his eyes, only to see a sword in front of his neck. He could feel his life slipping out of his hands. He started shivering out of fear. "I think I had enough of you, moron," Gray said. Just when he was going to slice his head off, a voice could be heard. "Wait, TCH, it's the captain," Gray muttered and backed off. Tien Long started feeling warm. Is the transmigration stone healing this body? Tien Long thought, still not accepting the fact that this is his own body from now on. "Haha, I'm saved, I'm saved. Captain, Gray was going kill me for real." "Kill him? He's a traitor," Mel exclaimed, full of happiness, and framed him. "Is that so?" The captain walked to where Mel was standing. Just when Mel thought that he could get his revenge, a punch appeared in front of his face. The captain hit him with force. He flew 2 meters away from where he was standing and crashed on the wall. Boom, why? Mel muttered, dumbfounded. "You think I do not know your ploys? How many times have I told you not to mess with Gray?" "Gray, please forgive my nephew Mel. He will not do this again, and I will personally handle the punishment for him." Gray nodded his head and did not say anything. He could only accept his hardships out here. "By the way, did you see anything glowing around here?" The only thing glowing here was my sword, not Tha." "All right," the captain stopped giving information. He thought he had found a treasure and was not willing to share with anyone. Tien Long, who possessed his new body, started sweating when he heard this. Not because he heard the captain mention about the glow, but because he could not understand anything they said. "Is my fate so worse? Of all the weak people out there, why a child? I could not even take care of myself in this state. I'm doomed." Tien Long had a listless expression on his face. Tien Long looked upwards the cloudy sky, which looked like his own fate, gloomy as ever. He quickly made a determined face to keep on living in this world, which was quite cute in itself. Gray turned around and returned to where Tien Long was lying down. He was astonished to see that the child was awake. "Kid, can you hear me? Are you fine?" Gray shouted in excitement. "Calm down, Gray. He's just a kid who was in coma since the time you found him. Do you expect him to talk?" The captain chuckled. "All right, I just lost myself in happiness, sorry." "All right, take care of the kid. I got things to do," the captain bid farewell. "What the hell are these guys talking about? I cannot understand. What language is that?" Tien Long thought. Suddenly Tien Long's forehead started throbbing painfully. "Arg, kid, what's wrong?" "Oh no." Gray started to get worried again. "What is this black thing in front of my eyes?" Tien Long kept holding his head until he fainted of pain. Gray checked his pulse and sighed. He's just fainted, thankfully. This child sure does like to keep me hanging on a thread. Gray laughed ruefully. It's almost this child's 3rd birthday. Good thing he woke up before that, or else I would have had my head sliced off then. Gray carried Tien Long to his room and made him sleep in his bed. Gray then sat before the table and wrote a letter. He then stood beside the window and whistled. A pigeon flew through the window and stood on Gray's hands. He then tied the letter to the pigeon's leg. The pigeon then flew away from him to its destination. That's about it. My mission is finally going to be over soon, I guess, if everything goes smoothly. It's been almost 3 years since I left the Empire. Hopefully the tide has crossed over, and if it has not, then we will both die. Gray laughed ruefully and then slept on the floor. After 3 days had passed, Tien Long still has not woken up. He suffers from headaches time to time, which almost looks like he was suffering from a nightmare. What happened to this kid? Is he suffering from something? But the physician I hired told he was perfectly healthy for his age, which is unusual in itself because he's been in coma from the time he was born. Is the heavens helping us? Gray found it difficult to understand this situation. Whatever, I will just report it to the higher-ups. Gray opened the door and left the room. After a few moments of silence in the room, a child opened his eyes. He looked clean considering the situation he was in. Probably cleaned by the physician or someone who took care of him. Where am I? What is this place? Why are not I dead? Tien Long had a lot of doubts, but the most he worried about was, what the hell is this black thing in my soul? Wait, I can sense my soul. Tien Long was utterly confused. All right, calm down me. If I think calmly, I will be able to make sense of this situation, Tien Long whispered to himself. Tien Long took a deep breath to calm himself down. He started connecting the dots. The Death Note was destroyed in that spatial tunnel, so I can no longer use it. But the black thing in my soul looks like a book. Is it the Death Note? But if it followed me into this world, then it should have been able to kill me after exiting the spatial tunnel. If it did not kill me, then I was right. The Death Note is restricted by the laws of universe. This universe probably needs time to detect the arrival of an unknown object. So the Death Note was able to fulfill the condition of me being able to obtain a weak body below 20 years old. But it was not able to kill me after 5 minutes, meaning the Death Note either should have been destroyed or reset according to the laws of this universe. But if this black thing is the Death Note, how was it able to infuse into my soul? Is it because I am the owner? Yup, this should have been the case. It somewhat makes sense of the situation. Even though Tien Long had many doubts, he was able to make sense of this situation. Tien Long got out of the bed, and just when he tried to walk, he fell down. What? He tried to stand up, but he could not, so he crawled his way to the mirror in the corner of the room. He looked around. 36 inches, has fair skin, has a pair of blue eyes that looks adorable, while his face looked emaciated. His short blonde hair was messy. Has a tiny frame that is normal for 3-year-old children. A 2 or 3-year child, an orphan. I guess it's all right since I can perfectly blend into this environment. I do not know who you are, but sorry for possessing your body. I'm not going to make any excuses since I indirectly killed you. Tien Long did not know that. This child was in coma from the time he was born and was going to die 3 days ago. I swear that I will live your part as well. Tien Long had complex feelings about killing an innocent child. After Gray left the room, he headed for the captain's room. Knock, come in, a voice could be heard from inside. Creak, oh, Gray, what's the matter? Captain, it's time I left the mercenaries. There was a moment of silence in the room. Sigh, did the 3-year period come to an end already? Time sure flies fast. Yes. I thank you for taking care of me in the mercenaries. The reward will be given once the people from the Empire comes to pick me up. Taking care of you, protecting a man with a cultivation base higher than mine. You must be jesting. Is it the child? The captain chuckled. You've already figured it out. I have been together with you for almost 3 years, yes. If I cannot even figure that out, I should just retire from being a mercenary. Good thing you told me this just now. If it were a month ago, I would have been forced to kill you. Is it an order? Yes, the Lorette Empire sure is scary, considering that it managed to survive and execute the noble families which participated in the rebellion. What? The Lorette family has managed to quell the rebels. Yes, I just received this news 2 days ago. Gray stood shivering from excitement. From this, both of us have survived. Gray heaved a sigh of relief. Then I will return to my quarters, Captain. All right. Asterisk Creek, asterisk Gray opened the door to his room and stepped in. He almost got a heart attack. Where is the child? Gray unsheathed his sword and quickly rushed in. At the corner of the room, Tian Long hurriedly turned back his head and saw Gray rushing into the room. Ray Nolan, that's his name, huh? Seems like I still possess the Death God's eyes. Then that means that I still have the Death Note with me. Ray heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that the child was still there, albeit trying to do something. Nigh, yay. Udal Tian Long immediately started putting on an act with a cute face. Considering that I was sleeping in a bed, this guy should have been the one taking care of me, and it's not far-fetched for a 3-year-old orphan to not know how to talk. Ray immediately walked towards the child and carried him up. Huh, will I get beheaded for the prince not knowing how to talk? Ray got scared a little. Probably not. Tian Long had no idea what this guy was talking about because he still could not understand any of it. Dude, please talk in a language. I know Tian Long wished lamentably. Child, it's almost time for you to return to the Empire, and there you can start learning the language of the world. Ray started lecturing the child, even though he knows that the child cannot understand it because his life depended on it. The lecture continued for 10 minutes, which almost exhausted Tian Long. After an hour, outside the Blue Tiger mercenary headquarters, "Oi, look at the sky," a random person exclaimed. Where? A passerby stopped in his tracks and questioned. In the sky, a big silhouette could be seen above the clouds. It's a dragon, another person exclaimed. The dragon's going to destroy the town. Everyone run. That person who exclaimed first fled in fear upon seeing such a silhouette. Idiot, that's a wyvern. Another knowledgeable person commented after seeing the silhouette come down from above the clouds. The wyvern's wingspan stretched 12 meters long. It looked long-faced with a set of razor-sharp teeth in its mouth. Its tail thrashed around, creating gusts of wind that threw the people who were near off their footing. On its back was a middle-aged man dressed in shiny red armor. His face was valiant with vigor, and he exuded an aura that was capable of suppressing almost all of the people below him. Hence, none dared to shout at him. He scanned the area and spotted the Blue Tiger mercenary sign on a building. He promptly headed towards that building. The wyvern then complied and landed in front of the Blue Tiger mercenary headquarters. Captain of the Imperial Guards, Renard Nalin, orders the captain of the Blue Tiger mercenaries to come out. That man then shouted out loud, which shocked many people because of the fact that the man on the wyvern belonged to the Imperial Guards. What is the captain of the Imperial Guard doing out here? Many people started whispering to others. It was not just a random Imperial Guard, but the captain. If someone said there was not anything going on, then they would not believe it even if they were tortured. The members of the Blue Tiger mercenaries did not dare to lash back at him. They could only wait in silence as they waited for their captain to show up. To their luck, the captain hurriedly came out of the building and swiftly bowed to the captain of the Imperial Guard, Renard Nalin. Noel of the Blue Tiger mercenaries at your service. Noel inwardly sweated. Such a powerful person had come directly to their mercenary group. He thought to himself, whoa, our empire sure is establishing their authority all over the land. They did not even bother to give him any face. Actually, why would they? Noel mocked himself. MHM is Gray. Before Renard Nalin can finish his sentence, he saw a male figure exit the building with a child on his back. Renard Nalin glanced at Noel and uttered with a satisfied glint in his eyes, "Good. You will surely be rewarded with plentiful riches." "It's been a long time, Ray," he smiled. Hearing the familiar and comforting voice, a smile crept upon Ray Nalin's face as well. "Yes, brother." Then the both of them bear-hugged casually and laughed heavily in an uproarious tone. "Is the Imperial Prince fine?" Renard Nalin's expression slightly turned anxious. "Yes, as you can see." Ray Nolan glanced at his back as he said. He then pursed his lips and inwardly cried as he thought back to the past 2 years. How am I supposed to say that the Imperial Prince was in a coma from the moment he was entrusted to me? Renard Nolan heaved a heavy sigh and nodded his head. "All right, let's leave this place then. Please do, I'm sick of this lifestyle." Ray Nolan laughed loudly, not displaying his worry. He then turned his head back and saw those misfits he had been together in these 2 years. "If you encounter any trouble, head to the Nolan family and mention my name, Ray Nolan." Ray Nolan smiled as he bid farewell. "See you later, Noel." Noel just stood there, dumbfounded by this revelation. He thought to himself, all of them are big guys, and these two are from the Nolan noble family. I've struck it rich. When both of the brothers got on the wyvern, Noel shouted, "Do not forget your words, Gray." "No, Ray, I will not." Ray Nolan smirked. He had an amicable relationship with Noel other than the fact that he was rather protective of his nephew Mel. But that was to be expected. He was still willing to treat him with respect. The wyvern then flew to the skies, heading towards the imperial capital. 6 hours later. A huge wall could be seen in the distance. The walls were over 60 meters tall. Finally, we reached the imperial capital with the help of this speedy wyvern. Ray Nolan spoke joyfully. The two had a lot to talk about, so they chatted the whole way, disregarding Tian Long. Meanwhile, Tian Long could not understand what they were saying, so he just gave up and enjoyed his first flight on the wyvern. It was so fast, and the wind that slightly brushed past his face rather gave him a sense of exhilaration he had not experienced in a long while. Perhaps he even felt that the life-threatening spatial travel could not compare. The air resistance he experienced would have rather thrown him off the wyvern, but the two who were in front of him casually disregarded the air resistance and passively helped him defend it from erecting a barrier. Ah, the air is so fresh in this world. The sceneries are so beautiful. Am I on vacation already? Tian Long felt that his choice to come to this world was the best one he had ever made. Luckily, his fate, which was usually terrible, did not let him down this time. Or that was at least how he felt. He did not know where he was headed to, nor did he know if he would be safe in the future. But since they treated him with care, he thought he would be safe with the two of them. It's not like he could change his future right now, or do anything of significance in this wilderness below him. So he just went with the flow and did not care to ponder a lot. The wyvern swiftly passed above the walls without any obstructions and headed to the imperial castle. It then landed below the main entrance of the imperial castle. Numerous guards held their spears and grasped it tightly as they would always. They did not even blink when the wyvern landed in front of them, but they more or less displayed awe and respect within their eyes. At the same time, they were confused as to who that emaciated, poor child was. The trio then entered the imperial castle without any impediments, as if they were the masters of this imperial castle. Tian Long could see the grandness of this place, and even without someone making him understand, he felt that he had arrived in some kind of royalty's residence. He also realized that he slightly had his mouth agape and closed it. Feeling rather embarrassed, he thought, is the child's young body influencing my emotions to a degree? In this short time of experiencing and witnessing many things after coming to his world, he felt that rather have a hard time controlling his emotions, and the upheavals he felt was not anything small. This made his suspect that the child's developing body might be influencing his already established calm emotions. However, this was a new world, and it could also be possible that the inhibitions he had on his mind in the modern world had all disappeared. They arrived in front of the throne hall in a short time. Just as they were going to request the audience of the emperor, the door opened and a young woman with an extraordinary bearing came out with a worried expression on her face. Tian Long was shocked when he saw this kingdom toppling beauty with luxurious and elegant bearings. Her 170 centimeters tall figure captivated his eyes. Her skin fair, with almond royal purple eyes like 2 drops of wine, illuminated her eyes. Her wavy, Waist-length blonde hair made her look gorgeous like an angel. Her face displayed a warm and graceful demeanor like a caring mother. Even then, she possessed a perfectly refined body with curves at the right places, making her look a little mature. The young woman looked toward the child who was in the middle, clasped hands with both the brothers. Her eyes widened in shock. Her lips slightly went agape as she slowly started running towards the child and hurriedly hugged him with all her affection. "You're safe. You're safe. Thank goodness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that mother was not able to be with you all this time." The young woman started shedding tears of joy as she intensely shivered. Tien Long became dumbfounded as he felt being hugged by this woman. Even though he could not understand what she was saying, he could feel the warmth from the hug, which he never got to experience in his previous life. Is this woman the mother of this child? A thought encroached his mind. Hearing the ravings from the mother of this child, he was again invaded by complex feelings of guilt and sadness. He did not know why, but he almost could not hold his tears from falling. He bit his lips and mused, is this also because of the child's developing body? A young man, whose expression was full of joy for a fleeting moment, can be seen behind the young woman who was currently hugging Tien Long. He appeared to be 180 centimeters tall, his skin fair with royal sapphire eyes that radiated a regal aura. His wavy, waist-length black hair was lush as ink. His chin met with a short beard, and his shoulders were broad with some muscles, making him look quite manly and handsome. In short, he had a medium build, and his face looked remarkably attractive to women. "Finally, my son has returned safely," that young man uttered in a deep tone, displaying his grandeur. He produced a serious expression on his face, but the sapphire pupils appeared moist. The two brothers immediately got down on their knees. "We pay our respects to the emperor and the empress," they shouted in unison. "Good, stand up, follow me to the throne." The young man nodded and chose not to interfere with the mother and son reunion. Instead, he walked towards the throne and sat down. All of those who were in the throne hall bowed, as they clasped hands to show respect to the emperor. Many of them held positions in the imperial court, administrating the empire's regions. "Lift your heads. Reincarnation, you've done a great task of protecting my son in the time of chaos. This emperor will bestow you with the title of Duke, a mid-level Earth-rank city around the inner region, and 100 purple coins. It's my honor, your majesty." Reincarnation obediently replied, but the reward he received rather made him feel that all his hardships were worth it, especially the mid-level Earth-rank city. "Reincarnation, you did a great job of escorting them back safely." "It's a given, your majesty." Renard replied with his head still inclined below, displaying his reverence and obedience. At this time, the empress walked into the throne hall, carrying her child on her arms. Observing the empress, the emperor nodded his head and cast a glance at his grown but emaciated child. He furrowed his brows and asked, "Reincarnation, explain the events that took place when you were protecting my son." "Yes, your majesty." Reincarnation nodded and explained the events that took place during his secret mission without hiding anything. After approximately 20 minutes of explanation, "And that's all, your majesty," Reincarnation concluded his report. "So, you are saying that my son just woke up 3 days ago?" Hearing the question from the emperor that was filled with suspicion and coldness, beads of sweat started to form on Reincarnation's face as he gulped. I swear on my noble name what I've said is the truth, your majesty," Ray declared. There was a moment of silence in the throne hall, which made the people fidgety. "This matter concerns my son. You will not blame me if I conduct investigations, right?" the emperor asked. "I would not dare. It is only your right to check the health and environment your son lived in, your majesty," Ray tactfully said. "Good, you're pardoned." Ray let out a sigh of relief when he was released from this harmless pressure. "Tonight, arrange a banquet. We're celebrating the return of my son, the royal prince." "Yes, your majesty," the people shouted in unison. The emperor and empress left the throne hall and made their way to their private quarters. In the private quarters, "Logan, I do not mind if the investigation is conducted or not, since it is advantageous to us that Our son was not influenced by any weird or evil characters. The Empress was fine as long as her son was well and healthy. Yes, but there are a lot of questions left to be answered, such as how our son, who was in fatal danger 3 days ago, managed to recover healthily. Is it a miracle? Or an unknown expert decided to save our son with unknown motives? HMPH. If it was an unknown expert with good intention, I will be surely thankful to him even in death. On the other hand, you sent our son to an unknown place that I do not even know about, and you won't not even tell me about it. Claire, I had no other choice but to do that. It is for the absolute safety of our son. Even I did not know where I sent him, not until that messenger pigeon arrived from Ray. Logan told the truth. What? Claire received a shock. All this time you were saying that you knew where you sent our son, and that he is safe. You did this all to assure me. Claire had tears in her eyes. Yes, my love. Logan cupped her face. They looked into each other's eyes and slowly engaged in a passionate kiss. A minute passed. Gar, Sayi, Ni. Tian Long could not stand it anymore. After all, he was still a virgin. The both of them were startled, then looked at their son and burst laughing. After laughing till they were content, they hugged each other. I'm sorry, Claire whispered. It's fine, I know your sufferings. Logan comforted her. But I was stupid, heartless. All this time I ignored you. I know I was doing wrong. You did not even look at other women, but I stopped paying heed to you. Tears started dropping out of Claire's eyes. It's my fault. Any mother would be angry if her son or daughter were taken away from her. Logan said. Claire felt guilty because she blamed everything that happened to her on Logan and ignored him almost for 3 years. After 5 minutes of warmth, the both of them then distanced from each other awkwardly, obviously them reacting to their reaction of their lower part of their bodies and their son's gaze. Haha, Logan awkwardly laughed. Claire's face was red as she smiled, enchanting her with a bewitching smile. Logan was in a trance seeing her beautiful blushed face. He would have already jumped on her if it were not for Tian. Long kept gazing at them curiously. I feel sorry, but I will not let you guys do anything in front of me. Can you guys please do it somewhere else? Tian Long did not have any weird fetishes. Asterisk cough asterisk asterisk cough asterisk. Our child must be educated in the ways of the royalty. I will arrange it now. Logan took another approach. No, I will be the one to teach our child. I will not take no for an answer. 3 years. I was not with my child for 3 years. We missed the bonding period. I'm not sure if the child will wholeheartedly even accept us as his parents. Therefore, I will be with him until he finishes his education. Logan was dumbfounded. He realized that he fell into his own machinations. He buried himself with his own plan. He did not know whether to laugh or cry. Claire and Logan readied Tian Long with a royal outfit. They did not require the help of servants, because this was the first time they were dressing Tian Long, their son. Tian Long felt embarrassed when Claire removed his pants, but he then realized that he was still a child. It made him even more embarrassed for having dirty thoughts. He then kept reminding himself that she is his mother, which he still has not come to terms with yet. Logan laughed when he saw him blushing, obviously misunderstanding with something else. Tian Long had complex feelings about being taken care of by a mother figure which he never experienced in his previous life. He felt warm and cozy. They then picked him up and went to the banquet hall. We welcome His Majesty. When people saw him coming into the banquet hall, they stood up, bowed, and shouted in unison. At ease, my subjects, Logan acknowledged. Everyone then took their seats. This banquet is to celebrate the return of my son and the start of our prosperous empire. Glory to the Lorette Empire. Logan lifted his drink and drank, commemorating the start of the banquet himself. Glory to the Lorette Empire. The subjects also drank their drinks. Everyone enjoyed the banquet, and after a period of time, Your Majesty, is not this the best time for that? The royal advisor, Hendrickson, commented. I guess it is, Logan muttered. Everyone, it is time for the main event of this banquet. The people in the banquet were silent. Logan looked at Claire, who was seated by his side. The both of them nodded together. I, the Emperor of Lorette Empire, Logan Lorette. Hereby declare that the name of the first prince, my son, to be Davis Loret. Ah, glory to the empire, long live Davis Loret, a person exclaimed. Everyone looked at Tien Long and started chanting his name loudly, which made the banquet end in high spirits. Today was also his third birthday. From that moment, Tien Long knew that his name was Davis Loret. The next day, 7 a.m., Tien Long was very tired yesterday. He slept in his room after that. His mother left him. He knew where she went and was very happy about it. He started shipping them from yesterday after all. The door opened, and he could see a middle-aged woman dressed in maid clothes entering. She entered and brought him to the bath, undressed him and cleaned him. Tien Long was stiff the whole time. He did not even dare to glance at the maid for a long time. After he was dressed up, the maid carried him up and made her way to the study. In the study, Claire was waiting for him to show up. Asterisk creak asterisk the door opened, and the maid let go of Tien Long. From inside, his mother smiled when she saw this Davis come to mommy. Tien Long was astonished to see her act cute like this. He quickly hid his astonishment and kept his appearance. He watched her curiously. Claire then repeated what she said with a gesture. Tien Long then carefully and slowly approached, like how a baby learnt to walk for the first time. He was not acting, but it was really hard to move his body, which has not moved from birth. He did not know that, but chalked it up as his soul synchronizing with his body. Claire opened her arms ready for a hug. Tien Long made his way to her and got enclosed by that warm feeling again. She hugged him tightly and wished that he will never disappear from her sight again. Asterisk creak asterisk the door was closed and the maid left the study. After a minute, Davis, your mother will take care of you and your education from now on. Let's start from the alphabets. Claire started teaching him the language of the world. A week has passed, and he was already able to run and play. Tien Long could now understand simple conversations. The maids will deliver him food thrice a day, and a bed has been set up in the study. He realized that he was absorbing knowledge quite fast. He chalked it up as his soul being powerful. His guess was correct this time. His soul was strengthened by the transmigration stone. Tien Long started to like his mother very much. She cared for him very much and played with him. Whenever he completed his assignment, he enjoyed playing with her. Maybe it was because of the body, but he felt like a child when he was with her. Davis, finish this assignment and then we can play. Yes, mother, this is going smoother than we expected. My son is able to quickly learn everything I say. He is a genius. Claire smiled proudly. She was able to approximately measure Tien Long's talent. Another week passed. Tien Long started to grow fond of his mother. He was now fluently able to talk. His knowledge of the language increased. But somewhere in his heart, he started having guilty feelings of being this close with dead Davis' mother. His inner self whispered to him, "You killed her son. Why are you laughing together with her? Is it fun, playing with the mother of the child you killed? You think she is your mother? No. You are just possessing her son's body. Stop it." Davis, Claire had a worried face. Tien Long snapped out it and remembered what had happened. Claire had just joked about how she would have felt if he had died out there. "Are you fine?" Claire asked worriedly. "Yes, it's nothing." Tien Long evaded her gaze and said, another week had passed. Tien Long gradually started distancing himself from Claire. He will not play that much with her anymore. He just finished her assignments and increased his knowledge of the language. Claire grew increasingly worried about her son not being that much responsive anymore. What's wrong? Why did he start distancing himself from me? Did I do something wrong? It cannot be because of how I joked about him dying, could it? Claire thought that. She had done something wrong. Later, she felt that he will eventually be his old self again. It was the 4th week. Tien Long did not know how to face his mother anymore. He started blaming himself when he saw Claire being overly worried. On one hand, he felt that he did not deserve this heartwarming mother. On the other hand, he felt that he should make his mother happy. These conflicting emotions had his heart tearing apart. Near the study, Davis, a voice full of longing was heard. "Mother." Tien Long glanced at her and turned his head back. "Look at me, Davis," Claire pleaded. Tien Long slowly turned to look back at her. "Did Mom do something wrong? Why are not you speaking to Mom anymore?" Claire bit her lips. Tian Long remained silent. Is the place not good? Did Mom treat you wrongly? Is it because Mom joked about your death? Claire had tears in her eyes. Tian Long still remained silent. After I lost you, I thought I will never see you anymore. I had no wish in this world other than for you to return safely. Every day without you was hell on earth. I thought I will never see you again, but you returned. My child returned to me, studied with me, played with me, and now why are you not speaking to your mother anymore? Claire cried. Tian Long was overwhelmed with guilt after hearing that. Claire hugged Tian Long forcefully. He tried to distance himself from her. Davis, do not go. Please talk to mother. I want my Davis back. Please give my Davis back. I cannot take it anymore. Claire cried, hugging him with all her strength. Mother, Tian Long felt his heart break and hugged his mother tightly. Your Davis is here, mother. Your Davis did not go anywhere. I am still here. Tian Long started crying. At that moment, Tian Long accepted his whole new identity, Davis. Light started swirling around Davis' forehead. His soul started shaping itself to spherical form. Claire could not believe her eyes. Davis, he achieved nascent soul stage. She dumbfoundedly muttered. After a few minutes of pause, Davis opened his eyes. He could not fathom what had happened just now, but he could certainly feel the change intrinsically. It was as if his soul started growing and attained a shape all of a sudden. He could also tell that he could recall his past memories almost vividly, as if he was experiencing it currently. This made him quite stunned. Claire wiped off Davis' tears and smiled proudly. You've made Mom proud, Davis. Wait, I cried. Davis decided to ask since he could not understand what exactly took place in his soul just now. Mother, what happened to me just now? Davis, you just advanced to the nascent soul stage. Claire exclaimed jubilantly. Her tone contained an enormous amount of disbelief, but at the same time she sounded proud. Nascent soul stage, what is that? Davis had some idea about it since he heard of it while studying, but decided to ask anyway. Claire giggled. Silly for this, you need to know about the cultivation system. Let me explain it to you slowly. Davis got excited to learn about it. He had seen magical beasts like that wyvern and other magical beasts, and even people flying outside the royal castle. It would be a lie if he said that he was not interested in it. There are 3 types of cultivation systems. Claire started to explain. First, essence gathering cultivation. Second, body tempering cultivation. And third, soul forging cultivation. Claire grinned and pointed over his forehead. What you achieved just now is the first step of soul forging cultivation, nascent soul stage. What you've done is a quite unbelievable feat, Davis. Usually, only people who had reached the 3rd stage of essence gathering cultivation system, revolving core stage, will be able to advance in their soul cultivation, because a human soul is rather weak. You cannot sense it, not until you reach the revolving core stage. Davis felt the difficulty of achieving this feat in his age with her words, but considering his real age, or perhaps his soul age, he felt that it should be set in stone for him. But even if it were 100-year-old mortal, that mortal would not still be able to sense their soul. Davis could guess this fact, but he had failed to consider. In fact, Davis was only able to reach the nascent soul stage because of 2 conditions: his powerful soul due to the strengthening effect of the transmigration stone, and the fact that he had managed to conquer his heart demon, which he currently had no idea about. Davis took a moment to understand what she said. Davis, Claire called out to her son with a solemn expression. He woke out of his trance. Did you awaken your previous life's memories? Boom. Davis looked like a cat that had its tail stepped on. He immediately took a step back, as it has been totally unexpected for him, or he should say that he had rather failed to consider while taking in all this new knowledge, and let his guard down. Claire immediately embraced him again, not letting him go. It's fine, Davis, you do not have to say anything, you're still my son. This does not change anything. She hurriedly comforted him. Mother, I'm sorry. Davis started to cry as tears fell over his cheeks. He can only let her misunderstand the situation. There was no use lying, since the suspicion was already cast on him. Seeing that Davis was crying, Claire smiled. She was reassured that it was still her son and not some old demon from ancient times. With how pure his emotions were, she felt that it could not be faked. At least, not easily faked. They stayed like that for the time being, perhaps, both feeling insecure. After a few moments of mother-son bonding, Davis decided wholeheartedly to be her son, both in body and soul, as it did not sit well with him to cheat a pure soul. At least, he felt that's the least he could do for the dead Davis. Davis, let's call your father here and explain ourselves to him, shall we? Claire included herself in Davis' situation, but if he wanted to hide this fact to his last breath, she wanted to respect his privacy. Mother, is it fine? Woe not father get angry. Davis had his misgivings. If more people knew about this fact, then his life could be in danger. Davis' father, Logan, had visited him a few times to play with him, albeit he was stricter because he wanted his son to be headstrong while facing hardships. Davis rather felt that his father had many burdens on his shoulders, so they were not able to bond to the level of what he and Claire reached. Your father will get angry only if you do not tell him. If you come out with it, he will start believing and trust you to a certain extent. In truth, he is an easygoing person and not stern at all. If you do not tell him, he may entirely distrust you because you simply have no way to hide your cultivation for now. Claire explained with the best intentions in her mind. She also believed that Logan would trust her words and not harm Davis. I will obey mother then. Davis spoke sadly with a cute expression on his face. He believed that even if the situation goes south, perhaps, his mother would protect him, the way he saw it. Though the emperor seemed to be the person with the greatest status, he treated the empress, his mother, as his equal and was also in head over heels for her. Lovely. Claire pinched his face as if she could not get enough of that cute expression. Claire then contacted her husband through a fist-sized crystal, telling him that she wants to see him immediately. Mother, what is that? This is a transmission crystal. This is used to contact whoever owns the other half. There are many types of crystals. I will explain about them later to you. Hearing her explanation, Davis nodded his head. A few seconds later, Logan opened the door to the study and closed it. His expression then became jovial. What is it, my love? What is so important that you made me hurry here alone? Logan then noticed his son's peculiar gaze and then turned shocked. Nascent soul stage. He could not believe his senses. Davis and Claire looked at each other and nodded their heads. Logan promptly noticed the solemn atmosphere in the room. Logan, Davis, and I have something important to tell you, Claire informed with a calm expression on her face. You and Davis, let me hear it then. Logan then set up a barrier made up of his soul force, knowing that it's important. Soul force was none other than the type of energy born from the essence of the soul. The further a person increased his soul forging cultivation, the further his soul force would improve and be enhanced. Claire then explained the series of events that happened a few minutes ago. So you are saying that Davis has gained his previous life's memories? Logan had a strange expression on his face. Basically, yes. Claire had a helpless expression. There was a moment of silence, albeit heavily awkward. Logan took a deep breath. He then looked at Davis, but his gaze was not one of looking at a son anymore. He released a heavy pressure that stemmed from his soul. Davis trembled. His father's gaze was sharp, and the sudden pressure engulfed him heavily. He felt as if his soul in his forehead was suppressed, making him unable to move his body. Logan, Claire defended her child as she stepped forward. Stay quiet. I only want to question him for now. Logan's expression was not as stable as he waved his arm. It startled Claire to a great degree. Who are you? Logan questioned in a solemn tone. Davis. Davis replied without much change to his expression. He had expected this after all. He felt that even he would do the same, confirming whatever he doubted with his own methods. Lies, what are you after? Father, I'm not after anything. Davis had tears forming in his eyes inadvertently. He was not after anything, and his undeveloped body had rather failed to keep his emotions in check after getting berated and accused falsely by the one he recognized as the father. Do not call me father. Logan rather had a heavy expression on his face. Father, please, Davis muttered. He did not want to create any kind of estrangement between the three of them. He had an aggrieved expression on his face. He felt as if he could not take this anymore. "Logan, you've gone too far," Claire shouted with an angry expression on her face. Logan sighed. He took back his pressure and retracted his gaze. He looked at him again. His gaze was back to like what one would look at a son. "At least tell me if you were a mortal or a higher existence, such as a cultivator or even higher." "I'm a mortal." After a moment of silence, Davis chose to reply without averting his gaze. His gaze shone pure, with no evil intentions. Logan could feel Davis' soul fluctuations, along with the feeling behind his words. If he lied, then he would know about it. There were no unusual fluctuations in his soul, so he could at least verify in a sense that his son was not lying. Perhaps only seasoned liars would be able to control their soul fluctuation, but he wanted to not see his son as one of them. Logan heaved a sigh of relief. He carried Davis into his arms and whispered, "I'm sorry. I could only do this for the safety of our family." Davis nodded his head, not taking it to heart. He knew that his father took action based on family security, and also must be very worried about his son. He knew that his father's past was extremely complicated and even heavy, to say the least. Claire walked towards them as she felt heartened. The family then hugged each other, perhaps not feeling well about their insecurities. Their hug was heartwarming, and it was the best comfort they felt that they could experience now. "Husband, you took your prank too far," Claire teased Logan as she tried to lessen the heavy and awkward atmosphere. "I know, I'm sorry." Logan chose to end the embarrassing, yet important topic right then and there. There were just too many myths in this world for him to ignore his son's abnormality. As far as he knew, no one had managed to break through into the nascent soul stage when they were just 3 years old, and that too without even breaking into the revolving core stage. He felt that his son was an absolute anomaly in this world. Hence, he wanted to absolutely make sure that his son, who seemed to regain his previous life's memories, was not a threat. Honestly, he did not know how to face his son anymore. He even felt awkward lifting up his son, feeling that his son could have once been an old man. But when he looked at his son's face and eyes, which awfully resembled him, and had his mother's blonde hair, there was no doubt in his eyes that Davis was his son, their son. Davis suddenly laughed a bit, causing them to laugh with a sense of not knowing what's going to happen anymore. "Ha ha ha tilde." The three of them laughed together like they were an ordinary family, but their laughs did indeed soothe their current awkward situation. Davis felt quite embarrassed to shed tears at the same time, but presumed it was because of the child's undeveloped body. It would make sense, since he had not fully mastered the child's emotional reactions. "When was the last time I cried when I was on Earth? 10 years ago, 15 years ago," he mused. Although he felt guilty of not telling the truth, he perceived that he had killed their son. He was happy as long as they think there is another Davis inside their son. This would help him remove the guilty feelings that he had for hiding this matter entirely. Though they misunderstood his situation, it was similar to what they understood other than the part where they do not know that he had accidentally killed or taken over their child. In actuality, he wanted to maintain this status quo. Claire suddenly had a change of expression over her face, as if she could not hold it in anymore. She hurriedly went to the restroom as she held her mouth. "Mother!" Claire, both of them shouted in worry. Sounds of vomiting could be heard from inside the bathroom, and after some time, Claire came out with a shy expression on her face. "Looks like I'm pregnant." "Good." Logan was trembling in excitement. "Ah, does this mean I will be getting a brother or sister?" Davis never had any siblings. He was dumbfounded, but he was extremely happy when he heard it. Claire approached them while coming out of the restroom. Suddenly she collapsed. "Mother Claire," Logan moved quickly and stopped her from falling. I'm fine, I just feel dizzy," Claire explained. "Enough, you need some rest, Claire." "Davis, your mother needs some rest, I understand." Davis nodded. "No need to worry, Davis, mother will soon come back to you." Claire comforted him. Claire's love for him is boundless. "I will be waiting, mother." Davis nodded again. Davis' parents then left the study. He watched their backs as they left him alone. Davis vaguely laughed, "Ha ha ha, ha. I gained loving parents in this world, and on top of that I get a sibling too. It's something I cannot get even if I wished for. I can only hope that I will not do something stupid and disrupt this family." Davis sighed him. "What's this?" Davis felt that he could now access that black book that delves in his soul. "Should I? No, I should not do anything suspicious while still in the royal castle. Father did set up some kind of barrier here, so people should be able to monitor this place." What Davis did not know was that the study already had a barrier set up normally. It's just that Logan had set up a stronger barrier than that. Other than that, there are always hidden experts protecting him in secret. In the private quarters of the Empress, Logan made Claire rest in her bed. He looked at her with a gentle gaze. Claire also looked at him with love. Logan and Claire had gone through life and situations together when they were young and during the rebel. Even though Claire had ignored Logan for 3 years, he did not fancy any woman other than her. He was totally smitten and deeply in love with her. With his status as the emperor, if he wished so, he could have hundreds of concubines. But he chose not to do it. He also went far as publicly announcing that anyone who tries to talk with him about making him marry another woman would be dealt with severely, and there were such cases as well. "Logan Davis is our son," Claire said worriedly. "I know." Logan sighed. "No matter what, reincarnated or not, he is still our son. I will not do anything to him." "Then why did you? What if he was an evil person in his previous life?" "He's not. There's no way my son will be evil even in his previous life. That's why I wanted to make sure." Logan calmly explained the Lorette family highly values peace and honor and would not stoop to do evil and low things. Lorette Empire was the only empire in the Grand Sea continent who did not war with other empires. Its adjacent empires were in a state of war, and that's why it did not get attacked by other empires during its internal unrest. Although its peaceful times has caused certain backstabbers to rise up in rebellion, it had remained still powerful as ever, but it had let it guard down. The cause of the rebellion was like more of an opportunity. The death of the previous emperor, Logan's father, proved to be a timely opportunity to assassinate the royal family. Except Logan and Claire, almost all the members of the royal family who were in the capital got assassinated. That's why Logan took immediate measures to send away his son. Only 2 noble families did not take part in the rebellion, while the other 6 noble families joined forces to eliminate the royal family. The 2 noble families then joined the royal family to help quell the rebel, the Nolan family and Colden family. Of course, at the end of the rebellion, the 6 noble families were either entirely annihilated by the Lorette Empire army or locked up in prison after the higher-ups of the 6 families were killed. Only the heads of 2 noble families, Farnwan family and Hawkwood family, managed to escape with severe injuries. Then Logan left Claire to rest and went to the throne hall to announce about the pregnancy matter. His subjects congratulated him and praised him. He felt awkward, even though he was the emperor. He had not received teachings on how to be an emperor because he was the 5th prince. He liked to be free and unrestrained, but had no choice other than to be an emperor. He could only take this position because his family in the capital was annihilated. Only his 7th and 8th brother were alive and somewhere out adventuring. Logan had lost too much in this war, and he utterly hated the 6 noble families for it. He wished he could find and kill the 2 heads who escaped. His only support was his love, Claire. Now he distanced himself from his son. Things have grown awkward between the 3 of them. He felt ridiculous for it. Somewhere in his heart, he felt that he should make this right. So, at night after much deliberation, he decided to visit Davis. Davis was in the study. He was still in the mood to learn about this world. He had his determination after all. Or you could say that he directed his focus on other matters rather than to think about the earlier event. Knock Davis. A voice could be heard from the other side of the door. Father. Davis turned back and stood up. Logan opened the door and entered. You are still studying at this time. Logan found a topic that he could start on. Davis nodded. I see. Are you fine? Logan asked. Davis again nodded. Seeing that the conversation is not going anywhere, Logan decided to be direct. Davis, about the matter early. Can I speak? Davis suddenly asked. Logan passed for a moment before nodding. Go ahead. Davis took a deep breath. Father, it's true that I am my own self, but it still will not change the fact that I am your son. In my previous life, I did not have any parents nor siblings. I was just an orphan. I lived my whole life alone, without any familial love. I did not even have anyone to accompany in my life. I lived alone in solitude. If you want me to go, then I will immediately leave this place. Davis had tears in his eyes. But it's just that, can I also be a part of this family? Tears fell out of Davis' eyes while he had a gaze full of longing. Logan kneeled down and held Davis' shoulders. You are a part of this family, he strongly replied, his eyes full of resolution. Next day, Mom, Davis, Claire had her face full of love. She thought she would not be able to see him for a while. Davis got permission from his father to go meet his mother. Although things are fine now, it is still difficult for his father to accept immediately. As for when he will wholeheartedly, only time will tell. Mom, how are you? Seeing that Claire was happy seeing him, he knew it was fine for him to be a kid again. Davis, you do not know how I missed you. Come here, let me give you a kiss. Claire beckoned. Davis came closer to Claire, and he got a peck on his forehead. After that, Davis talked to Claire about what happened with Dad. It's good that you and Father had a talk, Davis. Mom will only be accompanying you for a few months. Let me give you an amulet. What's this? The amulet was purple in color. It's an artifact that is capable of hiding your cultivation. Have it worn on you always, Claire said with a serious expression. Davis was extremely touched, and a moment later he realized that he was duped by his mother yesterday. He decided to play a little joke on her. Hee, Mom, am I getting a little monster? Little monster, eh? Claire was momentarily confused. You dare to say that your little sibling is a monster? Claire made a face full of fake anger while smiling. Davis immediately started floating. Whoa, what? Mom, he struggled in the air. Now that I remember that I have not given you any punishments, since you always seem to complete assignments way before time. This is a good opportunity for me to teach you a lesson, Claire said teasingly. Davis made a cute face, which immediately made Claire reluctant to give any punishments. Claire made Davis come closer as she opened her arms to hug him. Davis immediately thought that it worked. When Davis came closer, Claire made him bend around. Mom, */arg. Davis cried out in pain. You think you can get out of this just by playing innocent? Claire sneered. */slap***slap. Davis got his butt slapped so hard that it turned red. Arg, those slaps were truly painful. Damn, I stepped on a landmine, Davis thought. Now he knew how much she truly loved her kids. Mom, I'm sorry, Davis cried out. Good, you should have said this earlier. Claire smiled. Looks like I have to teach you manners as well, you naughty child. Claire laughed. I hear and obey, Your Majesty, Davis said while making a cute face. You only know how to joke. Claire tried to hit Davis again. You cannot catch me. Davis immediately ran away from her. Come back. 3 months passed. Every day was filled with joy for Claire and Davis. She taught him more about this world. They played together as well as studied together for 3 whole months. Then various tutors were assigned to Davis, who taught him. Claire was ordered to rest for the whole remaining 6 months. Of course, whenever he had time, he went to visit his mother almost every day. Davis had to act like a child in front of everyone, except his mother and father. His father and mother gave him permission to do that. In fact, they laughed behind him. They had to admit that his acting skills were very good. 6 months passed. Logan was walking to and fro with a stiff face. Although nothing will happen to Claire, he was not sure anymore after a monster like Davis was born. He started thinking about all possible worst-case scenarios. Dad, Davis, who was beside him, shouted. Do not worry, nothing will happen to Mom. Davis was quite composed compared to his father. Logan nodded his head, but he still could not get his nervousness out of his head. In an nhhhh, a shout of agony with heavy breathings, followed by loud crying of a baby, was heard. Claire, Logan hurriedly went inside the Empress room. Davis also followed him. No one dared to follow after them. Inside the room, Claire was holding a newborn baby while smiling resplendently. She looked like an angel. Her smile lit the whole room with brightness. Logan was stunned, while Davis had his attention on the newcomer. Logan went beside her and shifted his attention to the little baby. "It's a girl," Claire said. Claire knew that she will get a girl baby, but she kept it a secret. "Davis, you're a big brother now. My sister." Davis was dumbfounded at the prospect of his sister's birth, even though he knew this would happen eventually. Logan took hold of the baby from Claire. He stared at her full of love. "Claire, she looks just like you, an angel. Did not we decide if the baby was a girl that I'd get to name her?" Claire asked. She giggled. "Yes, even though I wanted to, damn." Logan had a face full of dissatisfaction. "Our little princess will be named Clara Lorette." Clara Lorette, a good name. Logan was happy with this name as it sounds similar to Claire, while Davis kept mumbling the name in his mind. Another year passed. Davis started learn about cultivation during this time. He was waiting for another year to pass so that he could start cultivating. Children start cultivating from the time when they were 5 years old. "Davis," Claire called out to him. Mother." Davis was in the castle library reading books about cultivation. "Davis, I do not have to say it myself, but you yourself, a genius, should know that. No one has got soul cultivation before they reach the revolving core stage. Yes, you mentioned about it to me before, Mother. You are quite lucky because we are the only royal family in this continent who specialize in soul cultivation." "Really? Other sects, clans, various families also have soul cultivation techniques, but they do not compare to us. That's really cool." Davis had a happy expression on his face. "Then that means that I can advance in soul cultivation faster and earlier than anyone else my age in this world. Do not celebrate too soon. Out of the 3 cultivation systems, soul cultivation is the hardest. You have achieved nascent soul stage before reaching revolving core stage. The soul cultivation techniques in our continent can only be cultivated after reaching revolving core stage, because at that stage, you can sense the changes in heaven and earth which is required for soul cultivation. If you cannot cultivate your soul after a year with our soul cultivation techniques, then you will have to reach revolving core stage before training in it again, which makes your speed the same as any royal family children." Claire decided to put down his ego first. "What the fuck?" Davis looked speechless. "There goes his genius history down the drain." "I'm sorry, Davis, but you will have to rely on your comprehension to learn how to cultivate your soul without reaching revolving core realm," Claire said with a helpless expression. "I understand, Mom." Davis understood that it is impossible for almost all people to sense the soul without any cultivation. "Mom, I want nascent soul stage soul cultivation techniques of our family now." Davis had an idea. "Davis, you are not allowed to cultivate until you're 5 years old," Claire warned. "I know, Mom. I just want to learn it to find a way to cultivate without reaching the revolving core stage. I promise that I will not cultivate until I'm 5 years old." I will talk to Dad about it," Claire agreed. "Then I will come play with Clara afterwards," Davis said excitedly. "Of course Clara likes you more than me. What tricks did you play on her?" Claire asked with an expression full of fake anger. "Secret," Davis smirked and ran away. 6 months later, after gaining permission from his dad to learn about soul cultivation techniques, Davis worked hard to find a way to cultivate the soul. Logan personally started to teach him about all 3 types of cultivation. After 6 months, he firmly grasped on how to cultivate normally when one reaches revolving core stage, but he could not fathom on how to cultivate without reaching it. In fact, it was a miracle that he achieved nascent soul stage without cultivating in a certain soul tempering technique. Since Davis could not find a way to cultivate, he tried asking various persons in a roundabout way. "Good day, Prince," the librarian greeted Davis. "Good day, Mr. Oxford." Mr. Oxford was the librarian of the royal castle. He was almost 6 feet tall, with a suave and gentlemanly face, but he was quite old, around 50 years. "Our prince is so studious. Our empire will surely be stable and powerful in the years to come." Oxford complimented. "Thank you, Mr. Oxford. Can I ask you a question?" "The prince has a question for me. I will try to answer my best." "What stage are you in cultivation?" he asked with curious expression in his face. "Oh me, I'm in the revolving core stage. It does not compare to your genius father, who has achieved law seed stage recently, just before the rebellion ended." "Really? Father has achieved law seed stage?" Davis was astonished. Davis finished reading about the basics of cultivation, so he knew a thing or two about cultivation stages. Yes, the law seed stage was the fifth step, in essence, gathering cultivation. It is difficult to attain it without resources and comprehension. Only the top powers of the continent have a powerhouse of the law seed stage. Logan's father was originally a law seed stage expert, but he died, triggering the start of the rebellion. Then what about my father's soul cultivation? Oh, are not you in a hurry to learn about your father? Your father is at the peak of the young soul stage, the third step of soul cultivation. Meanwhile, I am only at the peak of nascent soul stage. Oxford sighed. Only the third step, and Mr. Oxford only reached the peak of the first step. Davis was shocked at their slow speed in soul cultivation. The young soul stage is the third step of soul cultivation. Oh, it is not easy to cultivate the soul. You need plenty of resources that tempers and refines your soul. Without them, you can only slowly progress at a snail's pace. Training in soul. It is very difficult. Oxford lamented that he could not cultivate his soul quickly. "I see, then I will see you around." Davis kept nodding his head and took his leave. Davis walked absent-mindedly, thinking of a solution to the problem that he is currently facing. No matter how he thought, he could not think of a solution with his current knowledge. "Forget it, I will eventually find a way to temper my soul." Davis gave up temporarily and went to play with his mother and sister. Clara is now able to form 3 to 4 words of sentences. Davis always plays with his sister and finally makes her cry accidentally, which makes Claire to slap his butt out of this world. 8 months later, Davis reached his 5th birthday and finally earned the right to cultivate. He learned more about all 3 cultivation systems and got the cultivation techniques of all 3 of them 6 months before. The 3 cultivation techniques he got are all of Sky-grade manuals. Sky-grade manuals are reserved only for the royal family and those who achieve top accomplishments. Sky-grade cultivation techniques are not easily available in this continent. No mid-level auctions even dare to sell one in their place. At most, only the higher-tier powers will dare to sell them. The cultivation techniques he chose with the help of his father and mother were named Tyrant Body Secrets, Extinction Lightning Judgment, and Sacred Luminance Mist. Tyrant Body Secrets is a mid-level Sky-grade manual. It is a body-tempering cultivation technique. It has 5 layers in it. Extinction Lightning Judgment is also a mid-level Sky-grade manual. It is an essence-gathering cultivation technique. It also has 5 layers. Sacred Luminance Mist is a mid-level Sky-grade manual. It is a soul-tempering cultivation technique, and it also has 5 layers in it. No top power in this continent has a Sky-grade soul cultivation technique publicly. Only the Lorette Empire holds monopoly over it. Lorette Empire has 3 Sky-grade soul cultivation techniques, 2 low-level and 1 mid-level techniques. Each layer in the cultivation technique can be unlocked only by advancing to the next stage of cultivation. After getting the cultivation techniques, his father tutored him about all 3 cultivation techniques, increasing his knowledge up to 2nd stage of all 3 cultivation systems. "Father, I still have not gotten an idea on how to cultivate the soul sooner." Davis was depressed. "Do not sweat it. You still are a 5-year-old child. You have plenty of opportunities to try some ideas in the future." "But, no buts, you can concentrate on the other 2 cultivation systems for now." Logan noticed something and started leaving. Father, where are you going?" "It's time for me to break through," Logan said excitedly. 3 hours later, Davis Clare arrived outside the Emperor's room. Davis was standing outside the Emperor's room, clearly waiting for his dad to come out. He thought he will be able to see his dad break through, But his dad entered closed-door cultivation, since it concerns the advancing of the soul. Advancing in soul cultivation requires absolute silence with peace and serenity, but it is still possible to break through in the midst of a battle only. Under certain conditions, emotions play a huge role in soul cultivation after all. Mom, Dad is currently. I heard, what's the situation now? Claire had a worried face. Everything is fine for now. We can only wait for Dad to come out, Davis said. The two stayed silent after that and waited for 10 minutes. All right, Davis, you can go do whatever. Suddenly, a majestic aura spread with luminance, brightening the entire room that Logan stayed in. It overflowed outside before quietly subsiding. After a minute, Logan came out with a ragged face. He can be seen walking out dejectedly. Claire immediately went to hold his hand with a worried face, seeing that he walked out sadly. I failed, Logan muttered softly. A bright luminance surrounded Logan, which subtly started healing his wounded soul. Claire emitted that luminance, as she also trained in sacred luminance mist. Sacred soul healing is the third layer ability of it. Do not worry, dear, you can definitely succeed the next time, Claire comforted. It's useless, Logan muttered again. He had his head down. Why? Claire asked Heart Demon. Logan looked at her and uttered. Claire was not surprised. Logan lost his family and had not freed himself from its clutches yet. He still has not fulfilled his vengeance because of those two heads who ran away. It has been weighing down on his heart ever since then. She knew that he would not show his worry out, just to keep others from worrying for him. Claire immediately felt extremely guilty that she did not accompany him during those 3-year rebellion period. She just embraced and did not say anything. Davis just left, giving them the time for them to talk alone. 3 days later, Davis got ready to cultivate his body-tempering cultivation. The first 2 stages in body-tempering cultivation is extremely easy for the royal family to cultivate. They had plenty of resources after all. In fact, it also became easier for them to cultivate the 3rd stage easily because of the loot gained from the rebellion. Davis went to meet his father to consult whether he should make his first breakthrough in body-tempering cultivation so soon. After all, he was just 5 years old. Father, is it okay for me to cultivate in body-tempering cultivation now? Logan thought for a moment before replying. Most children only start to cultivate body-tempering cultivation only when they are 10 years old. After all, body-tempering cultivation involves extreme pain when cultivating it. It requires extreme resilience. I will not stop you from cultivating it, but are you up to the task? Logan asked with a sharp voice. My previous life was filled with pain, both mentally and physically. I am sure that I am up for the task, Dad, Davis said with determination. Good, that's my son, Logan said, and suddenly out of nowhere kicked Davis, which sent him flying. Garg Davis flew out and rolled on the floor miserably. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Davis tried to stand up, but could not, no matter how he tried. Painful, it was extremely painful for him. Yes, I almost forgot this body is not used to pain, Davis thought. What, that's it. You could not take a single hit. You should give up body cultivation, Logan shouted furiously. I should not be doing this. But it seems that he relies on his previous experience in this world. That will not work. I have to teach him the ways of this world. No, I can stand up, Davis cried automatically upon receiving such an injury for the first time. Davis struggled to stand up. After 2 tries he managed to stand up. Come, Davis shouted. Good, I'm not going to stop till you give up. The one-sided beatings went on for about 10 minutes. Every part of Davis' body received injuries, except his life jewels. The floor was full of blood. It's fine if you give up now, Davis. No, please continue. Davis thought he had to show more resilience and determination so that his dad will approve of him to cultivate sooner. Please give up. If you get any more beatings, I'm not sure that I will be able to escape Claire's wrath. Logan made a wry face secretly. This continued for about 5 more minutes. It's enough, Davis. You can now give up. Logan had enough of Davis' determination and more, and he was sure that he will be ignored by Claire again, for who knows how long if he does not give up. And no, please, Khan, continue. Davis' face was injured fully. He had lost more than 3 teeth. His arms and legs were trembling, but he still had determination on his face. He could not see what was in front of him anymore. He was feeling dizzy. Logan dropped his posture and made a wry face. Why do you try so hard? Davis tried to make his feet stable. He looked at his father's blurred face. I just want to protect everyone I love. He panted. I want to protect Mom, protect Clara, and even you, Dad. For that I need strength as soon as possible. Just when he was about to finish his saying his heartfelt emotions, he collapsed. Logan made a dumbfounded face and muttered, protect our family, even protect me. A 5-year-old child protecting me. Logan started laughing out loud. I am so ashamed of myself. I am so lost in hatred and arrogance that I forgot about my family's safety. The regret I had for letting those 2 escape has caged me in. I'm so stupid to focus my mind on those 2. The instant Logan realized that, he started releasing a majestic aura filled with sacred luminance. He instantly made a breakthrough to the adult soul stage. Thank you, Davis. I was able to realize what's more important to me because of you. Logan smiled. He finally had his last wall of caution against his son break. On the same day, Claire noticed the commotion. She heard from Logan that he has managed to break through to adult soul stage, and she was so ecstatic that she wanted to tell Davis about it. But when she saw the fainted and injured Davis, she grew so angry that she slapped him heavily and did not speak to him afterwards. Claire thought Logan injured Davis because of that event before. Logan immediately explained to Claire about what had happened. She only listened. Her expression relaxed, understanding that it was just a misunderstanding again, and did not bother replying to him. She immediately started to feed and apply medicine on Davis. The royal family has treasures capable of instant recovery, but that is too strong for Davis. Claire would have immediately fed him that, but his body would have burst apart without any powerful external help. Claire would have done it herself as she was powerful enough, but Logan wanted to make him slowly heal so as not to leave any sequela behind in his body. Of course, Claire only listened to him when he said that Davis wanted to train in body tempering techniques. Otherwise, she would have immediately fed him medicines capable of instant recovery. Logan knew that this would happen and comforted himself by thinking that this is only a matter of time before she gives up ignoring him. The next day in the study, Davis woke up and immediately felt both warm and painful. My wounds are healing quickly. Davis sensed that most of his bruises had disappeared and his teeth had started growing again. Davis can use soul sense from the time he made a breakthrough, but at his level, he can only use it to sense his whole body. His soul sense was not still able to leave his body. Davis, Claire, who was seated beside him, happily echoed. Are you fine? Claire asked. Yes, Mom, although it hurts a little bit. Davis said truthfully. That scoundrel, he went too far again. Claire said hatefully. Mom, no. I was the one who asked him to beat me up, so it's no way Dad's fault. Do not fight with Dad because of it. Davis did not want to create a rift between his new family members. Claire looked at his clear eyes and sighed. All right, I will not hold this against your dad. I know that he is not in the wrong, it's just. How dare he beats you up? Claire fumed with a wronged expression on her face. Just at that moment, Logan entered the room without knocking. Logan had a wry smile on his face. Claire saw him entering and immediately harumphed in dissatisfaction. Claire, listen to me. Claire had a sudden change of expression and immediately ran away to the restroom. Vomiting sounds could be heard. Davis and Logan were dumbfounded. They had this extreme sense of déjà vu to this bizarre situation. They looked at each other. One smiled lewdly while the other had a straight face. Claire came out walking shyly. Are you two rabbits? Davis smirked and laughed lewdly. Claire blushed heavily and did not dare to say anything. She was extremely reserved to any topic concerning procreation. Meanwhile, the one who had the straight face coughed and said shamelessly, Of course, as the Emperor of the Lorette Empire, I have the responsibility to produce more offspring so as not to make our empire meet its end. Logan looked at her with a profound expression on his face when he said that. The two of them then looked at each other and laughed. while Claire had her face even more buried down due to extreme embarrassment. "I'm going to kill you all," she shouted. The two of them immediately ran away from the study while laughing. A week later, Davis trained his body lightly in the meantime. He improved his physique little by little. One of the immediate solutions to cultivate his soul was that to sense the heaven and earth. But he was unable to do that since he was only at the low-level nascent soul stage. His soul sense was unable to go out of his body. Davis heard from his mother on how his father managed to break through by conquering his heart demon, just like how he was able to do it. Davis then learned more about heart demons from the library and confirmed that the only way to have breakthrough in his soul cultivation is to conquer his heart demons. He was sure that he had no heart demons for now. A heart demon is not exactly a demon. It's just an inner thought that is capable of corroding one's mind and soul. In fact, heart demons are the cause for most people's cultivation to stagnate. If one cannot let go of it or manage to conquer it, then one's cultivation will be potentially locked for the rest of their life. After learning about it, Davis had no way to implement this method as he thinks that does not have a heart demon. Claire was resting in her room. "Mother, I do not think I have any heart demons now. How can I then increase my soul cultivation?" Davis said lamentably. Claire was dumbfounded and laughed. "Davis, only peak experts are able to find whether they have heart demons or not. Do you think yourself to be a peak expert? Not even your father is considered a peak expert in this world." Hearing that, Davis realized that he was getting full of himself. He was immediately embarrassed. Davis, conquering a heart demon manually, is no easy process. It is hundreds of times harder than naturally conquering it through enlightenment. If you failed to manually conquer it, you will easily receive various backlashes, and the worst-case scenario may even change your personality to be more twisted. Claire shook her head and explained to him seriously. Seeing Davis' depressed face, she said half-heartedly, "Davis, do you want to confront your heart demon?" Yes, Davis had a determined expression on his face. "No, Mom will not allow you," Claire said seriously. "Then I will go ask Father about it." Davis stood up. You're not allowed to." Davis immediately started walking away. He opened the door. "Fine, you win, come back," Claire sighed. Davis returned back with an obedient face. "You're not going to reconsider. Your future is long and plentiful." Claire asked. "No, this is not a game. One wrong move and you're done," Claire said seriously. Davis' heart skipped a beat, but he still had a determined expression on his face. Claire sighed. "Have you heard about the Redemption Tower, the one that is nearby the prison, and mostly used by prisoners who are redeemable?" "I have heard about it before. Is not it used to free prisoners or criminals who had a change of heart? Is not that why it is named Redemption Tower?" Davis said. "You're right, but the truth is very different from the facts." Claire shook her head lightly. "First, there are 3 levels to clear the Redemption Tower. Many prisoners will give anything up to have a chance at the Redemption Tower. Skipping on the first 2 levels, what you need to know is about the 3rd level, the last level, the redemption level. That is where the prisoners face their heart demons and cleanse their soul of impurities. If a prisoner clears the last level, then they even have a chance of being recruited by the royal family. All of this is part true and part lies." Claire sighed. "The truth is that no prisoner is able to clear the level, as it would use up the treasure that is placed up in the formation. It only induces the arousal of the heart demon with the help of the formation. While the prisoner is busy taking care of the heart demon, another formation will act. Once the prisoner manages to clear the last level, the other formation placed there will imprint a slave seal on their souls. The royal family then takes them and assigns them to a certain squad or place them openly in the army. The slave has no choice but to obey the royal family. This is the ugly truth, and it is certainly a part of this empire." Claire looked at Davis' dumbfounded expression. "What, did you get disgusted by this empire?" Claire asked, smiling weakly. There was a moment of silence. "Yes, because being a slave, I've experienced it once and it sucks a lot." Davis laughed ruefully. Claire was shocked at his revelation. "But if they were used to protect you and Father during the rebellion, then all is worth it." I do not care as long as they live their lives protecting mom and dad. Whoa, you have some twisted views over there, but protecting mom and dad instead of the empire. I like it. Claire smirked. But you are sharp. They were used as meat shields for us to protect us from the rebels. I did feel some pity for them at first, but after learning that they did some evil crimes, I stopped caring about it. Claire explained her experiences. Davis, remember, we as the royal family will not hesitate to sacrifice the lives of others as long as we can protect our family. Davis nodded his head, giving her a sign that he understood the meaning behind it. I will ask Deer to disable the first 2 levels and place the full, complete formation to help one in conquering heart demons in the 3rd level. Normally, unless in an emergency, we will not use the treasure, but since you are a genius in soul cultivation, more importantly since you are my son, we cannot miss this opportunity either. Thank you, Mother. Hearing that, Davis was ecstatic. The next day, outside the Redemption Tower, Davis wore a black robe and a mask which covered his whole features. You sure are lucky. Only less than 10% of the efficacy of the treasure is left, which is more than enough for your stage, or else, if the efficacy was more than 50%, I would have used it to break through long ago. Logan sighed. Claire did not come. Davis was accompanied by his father anonymously. But are you sure that you are up to the task? Davis nodded his head and did not say anything. Logan knew that he could not change his child's mind. Davis started walking in the direction of the Redemption Tower. Then go straight to the 3rd level, which is in the 3rd floor of the Redemption Tower. Make sure you conquer your heart demon from your previous life. Davis passed for a moment before starting to walk ahead again. His smile was hidden behind the robe. In the Redemption Tower, 3rd floor, a silhouette can be seen coming out of the entrance to the 3rd level. Davis removed his hood and investigated the room. The surroundings were brightly glowing like some sacred place. There was an altar in the center which stood tall. The room was lit with candles around the bright altar. In the center of the altar, there was a mat which made it obvious for him to know. He moved straight to the mat and sat on it. When he sat on it, the room vibrated and covered him in a spherical glow of light. Davis knew that the formation had started, so he started cultivating sacred luminance mist. He realized that he was slowly starting to get dizzy. It felt like something was trying to get hold of his heart, like a pull of tug that could take his emotions away. He immediately concentrated on it. Before Davis realized, he was transported to a different place. Where am I? Davis was startled. This place seems oddly familiar. He checked his surroundings. It's my old CAG. Home. Davis was shocked. He started trembling. Calm down, me. This is not reality. Remember, yes, this is just my heart demon. Davis had a stiff face as he muttered, I did not want to come back to this place ever again. The formation pretty much helped me screw me over. Suddenly, a cry resounded out. Mr. Arg, please do not hit me. A 10-year-old child cried miserably. His teeth were broken, body full of bruises. A middle-aged man can be seen stepping on the child. Ouch, mister, please let me leave. Asterisk bang asterisk, the child was sent flying, kicked by the middle-aged man. Call me father, my pet. The middle-aged man had a twisted expression on his face, clearly enjoying beating the child up. What was your name again? Tian Long, right? Ha ha ha. From now on you belong to me. You are my slave. From now on you are just a dog. Let me give you a dog's name, but wait. I guess you do not deserve a name. Let me just call you Mutt. Ha ha ha. The middle-aged man laughed evilly. Davis, who was watching, had an angry expression on his face that showed that he was ready to kill this bastard again. He ran towards the middle-aged man and delivered a full power blow to his face. Asterisk zzz asterisk. The middle-aged man's face distorted, letting his punch go through him. Davis stood behind the middle-aged man. His face had a dumbfounded expression. I cannot touch him. Davis had an ugly expression on his face. He turned over, only to see Tian Long, his past self, getting beaten up again with a belt. Davis tried attacking again and again, but it was of no use. Stop beating, Davis shouted with an angry face. He stood in front of Tian Long and shielded him, but it was of no use again. The belt passed through him, and made contact with Tian Long's face. "Arg, help, please help me, anyone." Tian Long begged loudly. "You're pretty funny, this is my private mansion, and no one dares to come in without my permission." "Oh, the guards at the gate, they will pretty much turn a blind eye to whatever is happening here. After all, they have their petty lives to live. Ha 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 ha." He lodged again, clearly enjoying the feeling of cornering a child. "I am called Twizer, but you can only call me father. Ho ho, people call me this because they think I'm wise and twisted. Mister, please leave me alone." Tian Long begged again in a feeble tone. Asterisk bang asterisk, call me father. The beatings kept increasing, while Tian Long refused to give up. As an orphan who grew up in the slums, he had never seen his father and mother. He had a special place for his father and mother in his heart. As a child, he had wished many times that his father and mother would come pick him up from the slums. One day, he was confronted by a middle-aged man who claimed to know his parents. Being excited at the prospect of finding his parents, he followed the middle-aged man back to a private mansion, only to be terrorized and tortured. After 15 minutes, which seemed like a long period of time to both Tian Long and Davis, Tian Long gave up and started calling that middle-aged man father. To Davis, it was all familiar. What is going to happen, what he tried to forget, it was all shown in front of him. His hatred soared looking at Twizer. He could not wait to kill him once more. This man was once a scar in his life. "Good, ho-ho, and you're a dog, right? There's something you are missing. Hum. Ah yes, the collar. Wait obediently, this room is your cage. I will go get the collar." Twizer went out of the room. Davis' hatred once again soared, hearing that even though he knew what kind of torture would follow after this day, he could only watch what was happening helplessly. Davis tried to follow Twizer out of the room, while Tian Long was bruised with injuries lying down with lifeless eyes. Just when Davis was 10 meters away from Tian Long, a force kept him from leaving him. From this, Davis knew he had to stay with Tian Long, but for who knows how long. Twizer came back with a collar in his hands. He had a degenerated smile on his face. "Come here, mutt, let me make you wear this." Tian Long did not move. "If you do not crawl up to daddy right now, you will be receiving my love even more." Tian Long shuddered. He mindlessly crawled in front of Twizer and put his head down. "Haha, very good. That's my boy." Tian Long had a collar on his neck. "Bastard, I will kill you." Davis could no longer control his emotions and attacked Twizer again, but it was of no use. A year passed. In the beginning, Davis still had no way of making contact with someone in this world. Tian Long was shut inside the mansion. He had no way to leave. Every week he would be tortured till he was left half alive. At first Tian Long was only pleading not to beat or torture him. After a month, he started enduring it without shouting, but that just made Twizer more excited, so he had no choice but to shout miserably to appease him. It was hell for him. Thoughts of escape swirled inside Tian Long's head, but he had no way as he was collared. The collar's rope was long, tied to the center of the room. He had no way even to jump out of the window. Davis' heart was in pain every time he watched himself get tortured. It eventually turned into indifference. He kept reminding himself that this was just an illusion. After 5 months, Tian Long had enough of it. Thoughts of killing Twizer filled his mind. He started attacking Twizer by himself. But Twizer was excited when he saw his own pet filled with killing intent trying to kill him. The result was Tian Long was again full of injuries. Twizer was very strong. Davis knew what was going to happen, as he was Tian Long before. He was full of hatred for Twizer. The only thing he can be thankful for was that he knew Tian Long was not going to be sexually abused. This madman Twizer was just a maniac who will get excited just by hitting people. After that period of year ended, Twizer knew that Tian Long was not going to last long if he keeps this up. As a distraction, Twizer bought him various toys, books, even a PC. And it worked. Tian Long was absorbed in those, or else he knew that he was going to break. After a year, Tian Long even had thoughts of contacting someone from the internet to save him. But he dropped that idea as soon as he remembered Twizer saying something like, with a smile that was not a smile, "If you tried to contact someone through anything, Then just remember that it will not take long for you and that someone to die. Tian Long knew that he was not kidding and did not dare to try contacting someone ever again. 3 years passed. Tian Long was now 15 years old. He became pretty detached from this world. He had an indifferent expression on his face. His body was full of scars except his face. Tian Long gained various knowledge from the internet. He started watching anything that is concerned with entertainment, fantasy, something that can keep him feel alive. Davis was still here, experiencing the whole thing again. After some time, he and Tian Long started to form a connection. Every time Tian Long felt pain, he would feel it too. Twizer was no longer satisfied with keeping him tied up. He removed the collar and provoked Tian Long to escape. Each time Tian Long tried to escape, he was beaten up miserably and brought back. Twizer pretty much enjoyed it like a hunt. In fact, he would encourage Tian Long to escape. After multiple tries of failed attempts to escape, Tian Long realized it was just all lies and traps. 4 years passed. Tian Long was sitting beside the PC. "Mutt, it's time." A voice could be heard outside the door. Twizer came into the room and started beating him up again. "How come this idiot never gets tired of beating me up? Is it like masturbation for him?" Tian Long thought nonchalantly he was getting beaten up. He could not give a fuck anymore. Getting beaten up is just pretty much normal for him now. Davis was now connected more with Tian Long's emotions. Not just pain. It encroached on him, and little by little, he gradually forgot what he came here for. He felt what Tian Long felt. In his eyes, there was only killing intent. Just like Tian Long, he started hating this world. He blamed every person in this world. After beating him up, Twizer glanced at the PC. "Ha ha ha, Xiangxia, you got addicted to those fantasies." Tian Long just kept quiet. Twizer suddenly got an idea. "Do you want to go to a fantasy world?" Twizer asked mysteriously. There was finally a movement in Tian Long's eyes. He looked back at Twizer. He wanted to get out of this hell after all. Twizer knew that he got his attention. He quickly said, "Let me tell you something good." Twizer was sure that his plan would work. "Have you heard about the transmigration stone?" You probably have not. I have used my sources to discover about this just recently." Davis had a sudden look of confusion. He thought he forgot something but chose not to dwell on it. Twizer took out a world map which marked 2 places. See those marks. One is the transmigration stone, while the other is the formation which connects to another world. Twizer had a profound smile on his face. Tian Long looked at him dubiously. "Oh, come on, when have I ever lied to you?" True, he has not lied a single time, except for that time he claimed to know his parents. All you have to do is gather the transmigration stone and make your way to the formation which is secretly protected by a temple. I will even give up this opportunity to you, but you think you can get away from me? Tian Long acted like he had profound thoughts. He knew he'd be courting death if he goes out. Twizer thought he had successfully riled up Tian Long into escaping. He stopped escaping a long time ago after all. After 6 months, Tian Long showed no signs of escaping. This made Twizer very angry that he started thrashing him around. Tian Long was even more made to endure severe beatings. The killing intent in his eyes overflowed. Twizer could see that, and it even excited him up more. 6 months passed again. At dawn, Tian Long was staring outside the window. He wished he could just escape this hell. Just as Tian Long was staring outside, he saw a note falling down from the sky. He could not believe his eyes. He was sure that he was hallucinating. He shook his head, rubbed his eyes, but he could still see it. The book came falling from the sky and fell down behind a tree that was just nearby, not far from the window. Tian Long was pretty sure that he was hallucinating, but since it fell behind the tree from his viewpoint, he had no way to confirm other than going there himself. He felt a strong sense of curiosity. His instincts were telling him to go check it out. This was the only mysterious event in his boring life that piqued his curiosity to high levels. What's the worst thing that's going to happen if I get found by the guards? Just beatings and Twizer knowing about this. Tian Long comforted himself. Tian Long jumped out of the window and climbed down. Fortunately, no guards saw him jumping out of the mansion. Tian Long had not tried escaping for a long time, which made the guards relax. The only guards who were active at this time were at the gates. Actually, Twizer removed the guards who were monitoring Tien Long's window so that he might try to escape one day. Tien Long moved swiftly and quietly to the tree. When he came behind the tree, he was really shocked to see a note lying down there. Death note. Tien Long immediately picked it up and hid it in his shirt. He swiftly returned back to his room. He knew his movements at the window were recorded by the CCTV, but he did not care. Everyone will just think he gave up and went back. In his room, Tien Long checked the note. The note was scribbled with a bunch of rules, and he felt it was pretty interesting. He decided to try it out on Twizer when he came back. In fact, he was hoping it would work. Davis, who was watching all this as he wished to kill Twizer, slowly disintegrated. After 3 days, he could hear those hateful steps approaching him outside the door. He immediately wrote Twizer's name in the note and hid it somewhere behind his PC. He started counting. 10. The door opened, and Twizer came walking in. "Hey Mutt, I heard that you tried to escape but gave up." Tien Long just smiled. 20. You admit. "Very well, I will just make this punishment light." Cracking sounds came from Twizer's fist. 30. Twizer started beating him up. Tien Long just kept smiling at him, which made Twizer feel uncomfortable. Did this kid break down? 40, 42, 44. Tien Long suddenly started chanting. "What the hell are you counting? The number of punches." The chant made Twizer even more uncomfortable. 45. Die bastard. Twizer's heart skipped a beat. He was shocked by his outburst. After a moment of silence, he regained his bearings. "Die? And how are you going to make me die?" "Mutt." Twizer cruelly beat down Tien Long. It did not work. Tien Long had changed to his lifeless self again. He felt like he no longer had a chance to escape from the clutches of Twizer. He put all his hopes into that note. He had expected too much from it. He had fallen into despair again. In this 10 years, he did not know how many times he fell into despair only to dream of hope again. HMPH, do not get full of yourself, Mutt. Stay obedient. Twizer thought Tien Long was going to bomb him, but on second thought he realized that Tien Long had no means to secure a bomb. Twizer did not want to stay anymore. He left swiftly. Tien Long was lying down. He kept staring outside the window. His eyes looked lifeless. Suddenly, he focused his eyes only to see a monstrosity with long wings that appeared outside the window. He kept staring at it silently with a shocked face. He could not believe his own eyes. He wondered what happened to him in this week. After a moment of silence, "Who are you?" Tien Long asked, his voice trembling. "Are you the human who picked up my note?" "Note?" Tien Long had a momentary lapse of his memory. He quickly remembered the death note he picked up 3 days ago. Yes, I was the one who picked up the death note. Quickly help me kill that bastard Twizer. I wrote his name in the death note, but he just will not die. Are you the one who's going to kill him? Hey, wait a moment. My name is... Leave it, you can just call me the Death God Overlord. Death God Overlord. Tien Long gulped of hearing such a grand title. Yes, are you sure you wrote the real name of the person you want to die? The Overlord looked at him with a condescending gaze. Real name, Tien Long muttered. It's his fake name. Tien Long immediately remembered when Twizer introduced himself. He said people called him Twizer. Actually, Tien Long was with Twizer for over 10 years. He was not at fault when he thought that Twizer was his real name. After all, that name was plaguing him for over 10 years. Then help me kill him, Overlord. I cannot. Even though you are now the owner of this death note, I will not help you kill someone. If you want to kill that person, then you have to find his real name. How? I have no idea, and he does not leave any traces either. Boy, I have a deal which can make you find his real name, but for that you will have. Deal. Quick answer, but let me finish. This deal will require half of your remaining lifespan. In return, you will get the Death God eyes, which can inspect a person's real name and lifespan. Consider carefully. Deal, there is not anything to consider. Tien Long said determinedly. He thought that it's better to live a year freely than live 2 years in hell. All right. A week later. Creek, the door silently opened. Yo Mutt, I see you are obedient. Mo Wooming, huh? Tien Long sneered. "You disobedient dog. Let's see how you laugh again." Mo Wuming immediately started beating him up again. Tian Long endured it as he always does, albeit he was a little excited. Mo Wuming felt a little uncomfortable and shouted, "Are not you going to kill me, you mutt?" He suddenly lost the excitement to beat him up, and so he left the room. Tian Long immediately stood up and went to jot down his name in the death note. Mo Wuming, finally, ha 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 ha. Tian Long then laughed hysterically. After 30 seconds, he dashed out of his door in full speed. He caught up to Mo Wuming in 10 seconds, who was walking on the corridor. There was a distance of 10 meters between them. "You mutt, you dare to come out?" Mo Wuming slowly approached Tian Long. 5. "Mutt, what is that note in your hands?" 4. He showed the note to him. "Death note, what's that, an artifact?" 3. "What the fuck are you counting this time around?" 2. Tian Long had an evil smile on his face. "Fess up, mutt." Mo Wuming got hold of his collar. 1. Die. Thump. Mo Wuming immediately clutched at his chest. He had a shocked expression on his face filled with pain. "You?" Mo Wuming pointed at Tian Long and fell on his shoulders. He lost his life permanently. Tian Long pushed him away and laughed hysterically. Mo Wuming's corpse fell on the floor with a thud. After laughing for who knows how long, a voice can be heard in the corridor. "Papa." A 6-year-old girl can be seen standing 5 meters away from him. She moved closer to the corpse and stood beside it. "Papa, wake up." She gave a tug to the corpse. After seeing her father not wake up, she started crying. Tian Long stared at her and smiled evilly. Oh, Mo Wuming had a daughter. Unexpected. He used his death god eyes and saw that her name was Mo Hwan. For all the mistakes he'd done, looks like I can vent myself on his daughter. Tian Long smirked. His eyes were red due to the death god eyes, which made him look pure evil. Tian Long kicked the little girl away from her father. She growled in pain. "All is your father's fault. Papa, help me," she cried miserably. Tian Long then started stomping on her little face. She had her hands blocking her face from his kicks. She tried to crawl back to her dad. She kept muttering, "Papa, Papa, you know how many times your father trampled on me. You know how many times your father made me crawl. This does not even compare to 1/10 of what your father did to me." Tian Long let her crawl back to her father while he kept kicking her. She got hold of her father's shirt and did not let go. "Oh, what's this?" Tian Long found a knife on Mo Wuming's body. "Maybe I can make my heart be at peace if I cut you piece by piece." Tian Long smiled evilly and made a slash at her face. "Nuo, help, Papa." She screamed miserably while crying. Bang. A punch came out from nowhere, sending Tian Long flying through the corridor. He suddenly disintegrated. I remember I immediately ran away miserably after seeing this girl cry her heart out sadly for her dad. The 10 years I spent in this hell does not even compare to the guilt when I saw this child cry. If it were not for this child, I truly would have turned evil. A sigh escaped from a person who stood beside the child. "Still, to play such an evil role with my body. Did you think you can change my heart? My heart, demon." Davis had a smug face when questioning himself. In the Redemption Tower, 3rd floor, Davis, who was subconsciously cultivating the sacred luminance mist, shuddered. Golden bright lights surrounded him as he made a breakthrough to mid-level nascent soul stage. His cultivation climbed higher until his foundation was incredibly stable in that stage. He opened his eyes. His soul could feel that only 6 hours had passed while he spent 10 years in that hell. What a scary heart, demon. It had me in its palm for over 10 years, little by little connecting me with my past self. First, pain. Second, emotions. Third, a state where I could only watch mindlessly. If I had not realized at the last moment, if I had managed to torture and kill the girl, would I be the one to return here? Thinking about this, Davis shuddered. He realized that this question should be left unanswered. He quickly stood up and exited the tower. When he came out of the tower, he could see a figure run to him extremely fast. That figure hugged him, which gave him pure warmth. He smiled. "I'm back, Mom." "You silly." Claire released him as she looked at him. Davis realized that her eyes were red. She looked like she cried for a long time. Logan came closer, walking slowly. He stared angrily at Davis, but he was happy inside. What happened? Why is Mom's eyes so red? Davis was the one who was angry this time around. Davis, you idiot. The heart demon session does not even last over an hour. You have been there for over 6 hours. Just look at how your mother was worried sick about you, HMPH. If you had not come out, I would have killed you myself. Logan explained with an angry face. After you entered the tower for more than an hour, your mother could not help but leave the castle. She waited for 2 more hours worriedly. Then she cried for about an hour and fainted. She just woke up just now. You are such a disgrace. What if something had happened to her and the baby in her womb? After seeing that, his son was fine. Logan really wanted to scold his son severely. Mom, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for making you worry. I promise that I will never make yo. Davis realized his fault and hurriedly apologized. Silly, you cannot make that promise. You are meant to fly in the future. No matter where you go, Mom cannot stop worrying about you. Claire knew that her son would soar higher than anyone else in the future. That is the confidence that she had for her son. All right, let's return to the royal castle, Logan said. Both of them nodded. At the Emperor's quarters. So, you did make a breakthrough, right? Logan asked. Yes, I've advanced to the mid-level nascent soul stage. Davis replied. Good. Logan nodded in satisfaction. Davis, use your soul sense, Claire said. Davis used his soul sense. A transparent form of energy tinged with light golden luminance spread around 50 meters of him. In this space, he could perceive everything that is in his range. It was a weird feeling. He lost himself in a trance, perceiving his surroundings. Logan and Claire had their jaws drop. I know that his soul is powerful, but not this powerful, Claire muttered. Davis was confused. What part of did it make them say that his soul is very powerful? He then immediately realized an average person with a mid-level nascent soul stage cultivation can only extend his soul sense for about 10 meters, while, on the other hand, you can extend up to 50 meters. This clearly denotes that your soul is 5 times more powerful than an average person. Claire explained, but then why cannot I extend my soul sense up to 5 meters when I was in low-level nascent soul stage? Davis expressed his doubts. Silly. Claire giggled. It simply does not work that way. Average cultivators of the low-level nascent soul stage can only make their soul escape once their body is destroyed. They are simply unable to use soul sense at that level and stage. Only people with powerful souls are able to use their soul sense to scan their body 2 or 3 times at once when in low-level nascent soul stage. Like your father, Claire explained patiently. Logan had a proud face when he heard her say that, but once he thought about how his own son had beat him, his face deflated. Davis, you should have unlocked the first layer of sacred luminance mist by now. Display it for Mom. The first layer. Okay. Davis nodded and circulated his soul to perform according to the first layer of sacred luminance mist. Layers of a cultivation technique can be easily comprehended, unlike battle techniques, which requires deep comprehension. The only prerequisite is that you reach the required stage. Of course, if one is stupid and talentless, then even that one will find it to comprehend the layers of a cultivation technique even if they reach the required cultivation stage. A bright golden force field spread 10 meters from Davis. Davis felt like nothing could damage his soul in this space. The sacred soul shield you formed is powerful as well. The both of them were not surprised this time. Even peak-level nascent soul stage cultivators will find it very difficult to break that. Logan sighed in submission. He did not even realize that he was competing with his son. That's it, Davis expected more. Asterisk cough asterisk asterisk cough asterisk. If this is the end, then it will not be any different than other soul cultivation manuals which provides a soul shield. Claire confidently said. Try shrinking it till you cover your entire body with it, Claire said. Davis nodded his head and tried to shrink the golden force field. The golden force field shrank till it only covered his body. Logan and Claire looked at how his soul is not only powerful but pure as well. This would not even infant soul stage cultivators find it hard to break this sacred soul shield of his. Logan muttered. Claire was dumbfounded as well. She uttered yes. Davis was kind of happy, but at the same time disappointed, thinking that his shield was not useful against young soul stage cultivators. What he did not know was that his parents were comparing him subconsciously with other cultivators who cultivated in other sky-grade soul cultivation manuals. Davis, since you have a powerful soul, it's also a must for you to become an alchemist, or else it will be just a waste of talent, Claire urged her son. Davis had a stupid and crying expression on his face. Oh, that process where people make pills from a cauldron. It looks really easy to read in a novel, but is it really easy to do here? What? Do you even know what alchemy is? Do you know how easy it is to cultivate with pills in your arsenal? Do you how much respect the alchemists command in our continent? All right. Mom does not have to explain all this. Just let father teach me, all right? Davis replied, as he already knew what kind of bullshit respect those alchemists have, those misers. Claire immediately glared at Logan while he just looked around and started whistling, as if he had not heard anything. Claire then said to Davis, with a not-so-smiling face, "Davis, your father was the fifth in line for the throne, and was not interested in anything other than woman and cultivation. He was pretty arrogant, so he did not train in alchemy at all, and as a result, you see a failure of a father who cannot teach you alchemy." Claire, Logan's face was red in embarrassment. This was a dark history that he did not want anyone to know about. If his people knew that he, as an emperor, did not know shit about alchemy, they would laugh till they die. Davis gulped. He realized that his mom's sharp words can kill people sometimes. Screw the death note, I should have the mom note. He stopped flirting with other women when he started loving me. At least your dad is very upright in this regard. Logan regained his bearings as he gained some face with that statement. No worries. Even though many alchemists command respect, they cannot compare to an emperor of a sky-grade empire, and your talent is very high, which even makes me jealous. Alchemists would probably flock to have you as a direct disciple if they know how powerful your soul is. Logan explained with a proud face. But the problem is, it is not a good thing to reveal your talent in front of the public. We have just recently survived a disaster, and our overall power has dropped. Even though we are a powerhouse, we must be careful enough to not fall into the plot of others, such as assassinations. Claire pondered and said, then we should just invite a high-tiered trustable alchemist to teach Davis in the royal castle. We can secretly invite him using various proxies so that even if the invite failed, he will not be able to trace back to us. That's doable. Logan nodded. Does that mean that I am not allowed to roam the royal capital? Davis did not want to bring out the death note here, as his parents may know about it. As for why he did not bring it out in the Redemption Tower, he thought that place was monitored as well. Obviously, you're not getting one step outside the royal castle without your mom and dad accompanying you. It is too dangerous, Claire scoffed. Even though the royal capital is our home field, Davis expressed his doubts. On the surface, the royal capital may look calm, but there are maybe many serious undercurrents lurking without us knowing. Logan explained, ever since the rebellion, we have severely weakened, which made the other empires send their spies, assassins and whatnot. There's no telling that a random person with a powerful hidden cultivation might approach you from somewhere, only to kill you and die himself. Davis audibly gulped. I've underestimated this world too much. Even though he already knew that he was constantly under protection, he just thought it was a royalty thing. And I will still know where you are, as I have placed a soul mark on you. Where? Davis panicked and immediately checked his soul for any foreign entities. A bright golden talisman shot out from Logan's soul to Davis' soul. Here, Logan said smugly. Claire laughed. Davis knew that he was played the fool right now. He glared at his dad and swore secretly that he will take revenge for this. Davis, let mom also mark you so that I can immediately react to any emergencies. Claire sweetly said, go ahead, Mom. Hee, silly. Claire was very happy that Davis did not put any restrictions in front of her. She also gave him a sky-grade protective treasure, It was a locket. "Dad, I now want to train in body tempering cultivation," Davis declared seriously. "No, first, you should stabilize your soul cultivation first." "My soul cultivation is already stable," Davis quickly answered. "Then you have to wait for your body to get used to pain." "Father, I am used to pain." Davis smiled. Logan's eyes twitched. "At this rate, will not he punch a hole through the heavens and ascend quickly?" He sighed. "All right, let me get you a tutor for body cultivation first. Claire will arrange you the resources that you need to achieve a breakthrough." "Will not you teach me, Dad?" Davis asked sincerely. "I'm sorry, Davis. I do not have time for everything." Logan had a difficult expression on his face. "I understand." Davis knew that his father, as the emperor, must have a shitload of work to do. "Dad, what about the S?" "I know. Once you complete your body cultivation, Claire will see to your essence gathering cultivation." Logan clearly had enough of his bullshit. "Or should I just assign you Anoth?" "No thanks." Davis was more than happy to be with his mother together. "Haha, all right, it's getting busy for me. You and Claire should rest for today. Do not make Claire teach you too much a day. Let her rest for a more period of time." "I know, Dad. At that time, I will be either with Clara or in the library. No need to worry. I will take care of Mother." Logan and Claire both smiled, satisfied by his reply. Logan then left, Princess carrying Claire to her room. Davis smiled. He also left the room and headed to the study. "Phew, looks like I can't not even sneak out of the castle. Then I will just have to get even stronger for Father and Mother to acknowledge me." Davis had fire emitting out from his eyes. He wanted to explore this world, at least the neighboring streets for now. The next day Davis went to the royal training grounds that was in the royal castle. Only the emperor's direct descendants were allowed to train there. When Davis reached the entrance, he saw a middle-aged man about 30 years old. That middle-aged man, who was looked sideways, shifted his head to see Davis approaching him. "Hendrickson, huh? Is not this guy the royal advisor? He is my tutor now." Davis used his death god's eyes to inspect him when he turned sideways. He was not sure whether if it would work on him, but it worked. "Welcome, Prince. I am Hendrickson, the royal advisor, and also act as a military advisor at times of need. From now on, I will be your tutor in body tempering cultivation." Hendrickson bowed lightly and introduced himself. "Hello, Mr. Hendrickson. I will be in your care from now on." Davis acted cutely, as if he was really excited to have him as his tutor. "Oh, my prince, please drop the honorifics. Hendrickson is fine." Hendrickson did not dare to act arrogantly. The royal family might have many plots when they have too many members, but he can sure see that there are no schemes in this small royal family. He knows that they are incredibly protective of one and another. "Okay, Miss Hendrickson." Davis purposefully made a mistake. "Haha." Hendrickson laughed weakly. "Still, why did the emperor ask me to train a 5-year-old child? Is not it too soon? Even though I rejected, he will not take no for an answer." He sighed. "Prince Davis, I heard from the emperor that you have already trained your body to some extent. Let me check your body." Hendrickson released his soul sense and checked Davis' body. He noticed the sky-grade treasure amulet and locket, and he can deduce the locket's property, but did not know the amulet's property. You have trained your body well. Follow me. The Empress is waiting in the body tempering chamber." Hendrickson started walking. Mother, okay." Davis followed. "Miss Hendrickson, what is your current cultivation in all cultivation systems?" Davis had an excited face when he asked that. "Oh ho, my prince, it is not anything great. Out of the 3 cultivation systems, I specialize in body tempering cultivation system. I've reached peak level silver stage, mid-level body transformation stage, and peak level young soul stage." Hendrickson explained calmly, even though he was secretly proud. "What?" My death god's eyes were able to inspect a young soul stage cultivator. Davis was secretly astonished. He did not dare to use it on his mother and father. He did not even dare to use it on the maids and servants, afraid that they might be secretly experts assigned to protect him. He was afraid that if they were to know him inspecting them, then he would have to explain himself, which he did not want to. The death note is the only secret which he should not reveal. Oh, that is wonderful, Miss Hendrickson. Hendrickson had black lines on his face. He can only hear Davis calling him Miss Hendrickson. He could only suffer this humiliation silently. Should I try using the death note? No, no, that would mean killing him. Killing him is no good, but I do not know if it will even work on him. Will the death note even work on cultivators who are way stronger than me? Humans back on Earth were all equal in soul level, so the death note was able to work on them. Even so, it was full of limitations. Here, I do not think the rules are the same. There must be different kinds of limitations. Davis had a huge headache. He would have to experiment on people to find out its powers. Then that would mean I can only use it on people who deserve to die. The prison would be a good place to experiment. Thinking this, Davis smirked. They soon arrived to a place. The chamber was filled with various kinds training equipment. Davis saw his mother patiently waiting there for him. He saw her smile, and he immediately ran to her. Mom arranged this for you, so your body's foundation and strength might be even stronger than other cultivators on the same level. Claire smiled. She then pointed at a bathtub. Whoa, Davis had to act like a kid in front of others. In that bathtub, a low-level sky-grade tyrant body pill is diluted in that water. Your body is not powerful enough to eat the whole pill. Your body will explode. Empress, may I? Go ahead, royal advisor, Claire said. Is not it too soon for the prince to be body cultivating? What if he undergoes a trauma and is unable to cultivate because of it? Hendrickson was clearly worried that, if Davis were to be in danger, he would be blamed for it. No need to worry, royal advisor. We have utmost trust in our child. He will be able to do it, Claire declared confidently. Hendrickson was baffled. He looked at Davis' childlike, pure, innocent face. Where do they even get the confidence from? All right then, Prince. Get inside the bathtub and start cultivating the tyrant body secrets. You could have diluted the pill and drank it, but we want your body to endure less pain. We want to have your body get used to the pain, Hendrickson said. Davis smiled innocently and nodded. He got inside the bathtub. He suddenly felt pain all over his body, except his head. Davis' eyes shot wide, and he now knew that body-tempering cultivation was no joke. Davis immediately started cultivating tyrant body secrets and endured the extreme pain for 2 hours. Gradually, he got adjusted to it. Claire came closer to him and fed the diluted pill essence more powerful than the water in the bathtub. If his pores were open, then he could have absorbed the diluted pill essence, but it had now gone to waste. Davis felt like his internal organs were burning. He continued to cultivate tyrant body secrets. This pain lasted for 2 more hours, until a sound could be heard from his body. Crack Davis emitted a little reddish-brown aura from his body. He could feel his strength soar. He felt like he could now lift a car single-handedly if he tried. Claire beamed. She could see that he achieved copper stage, while Hendrickson was astonished that he could withstand the excruciating process. Mom, I've did it, Davis animatedly exclaimed. You've made Mom gratified, Davis. Claire smiled proudly. Congratulations, Prince Davis. You have taken the first step to cultivation, earlier than anyone else I've known. Hendrickson nodded in acknowledgement. He did not expect this naive-looking child's tenacity to be this high. Thank you, Hendrickson. Hendrickson nodded even more appreciatively. He did not call him Miss this time. Davis got out of the bathtub. He then excitedly stretched his limbs. He can feel that his body was filled with overflowing power that he never experienced in his life before. Hendrickson commented, Good, unlike the other 2 cultivation systems, where you accumulate energy and advance slowly. Cultivating and body-tempering cultivation. You only need resources and resolve to advance, but it only gets harder and difficult as you advance. He shook his head, lamenting the fact that he still finds it difficult to break into gold stage. Davis, there's a strength-gauging equipment over there. Go punch it, Claire said. Davis moved to that equipment and punched it normally. Bang 532 kg Davis then punched with all his strength. Bang 1021 kg. Whoa, got him. This is so awesome, Davis was excited inwardly. Davis performed the first layer technique of Tyrant Body Secrets. Claire looked forward to his performance. Davis nodded. He started gathering power in his right fist. Reddish-brown aura suddenly covered his right arm and he punched forward with all his might. 5,164 kg. Good. With the Tyrant aura amplification, you could even rival low-level bronze stage cultivators in power. For those who cultivate in an earth-grade body cultivating manual, you could rival a high-level copper stage cultivator in power. Hendrickson commented, but if I were to face a low-level copper stage cultivator who cultivates in a sky-grade body cultivating manual, will not we be evenly matched? Yes, but that also depends on the manual that the other person is cultivating in. Even sky-grade manuals have levels. Of course, it even includes your individual battle prowess too. Hendrickson added. Davis sighed. Looks like I'm only powerful in soul cultivation. But by the time you reach gold stage gradually, you would have developed a tyrant physique which even increases your strength and defense double the times. At that time, no one in gold stage will be your opponent. That's why it's named as Tyrant. Cannot I achieve the Tyrant physique now? Davis asked curiously with a confused expression. The Lorette Empire does not have that kind of resources. Well, it had before. But for now, there are no whereabouts of the mystic tyrant fruit. I will inform your father if we find one. Davis' eyes shone brightly. Looks like I still have hope. All right, you just have to cultivate like this till you reach the peak level. If you find yourself stumped in front of any bottlenecks, you can visit me in this chamber in the morning. At other times I will not be available, Hendrickson informed. Okay, Davis nodded. Davis, let's go. Claire held Davis. They both then left in the Empress quarters. Brother, a baby jumped excitedly in its cradle. She was 1.5 years old and 30 inches tall. Her face was chubby and extremely cute. Her cute purple eyes glowed mystically, as if it could see through lies. Her short blonde hair was silky smooth. Clara, your brother is here. Davis hurriedly ran towards her, pinched her cheeks and tickled her. No, Clara laughed. Davis lifted her up and held her. He then turned to Claire. Mom, I'm so sorry, I should not have jinxed it. Davis was extremely regretful. It's fine. At least it's a good thing, Claire sighed. Clara had a set of unique eyes from her birth. After 1 year, they discovered that her eyes were glowing. The three of them panicked, and later when they researched about it, they calmed down. Clara had the transcendent truth eyes. It could see through lies and deceit. If she manages to perfect that power, then no one could lie in front of her. The only problem now is that her eyes lit up randomly. She's just a baby, she could not possibly control it. Claire could not help but worrying. It will be fine, Mom, when she grows up. She should be able to control it. After all, the records mention that those who possesses transcendent truth eyes are natural-born rulers. Davis stated proudly. You're right. Claire nodded, but her face showed otherwise. Such is the fate of a mother. Mother, you can rest today. I will start cultivating essence gathering cultivation tomorrow. If you say so, she smiled. But in exchange, you have to tell me about that treasure. You said that we have it in our treasury. Davis asked excitedly. The name itself seems grand. All right. Claire could not help but laugh. Her son seems to be extremely interested in treasures. The fallen extinction lightning was captured by our previous emperor, your grandfather. He went single-handedly and captured it from the Lightning Fall Mountains that is very far from our empire. But during the battle, sadly, he underestimated the fallen extinction lightning. He was grievously wounded, but he still managed to capture the sky-grade lightning elemental. So my grandfather, the previous emperor, died from injuries. How can it be? He was so powerful, more powerful than father. Davis could not believe that a mere injury could make his grandfather succumb to death. His grandfather was in the 5th step of all the cultivation systems after all. Unfortunately, the fallen extinction lightning possesses corrosive and annihilation properties. He succumbed to the corrosive injuries that the fallen lightning star left behind in his body. Claire sighed. Since grandfather went to hunt it down then, He should have known the properties behind the fallen extinction lightning. I do not believe that grandfather did not investigate before. Davis shook his head. Claire sighed. In fact, he did, but the information was outdated. He originally went to hunt a peak-level Earth-grade silent extinction lightning for the first prince's son, but by the time he discovered that, it had already evolved to a sky-grade fallen extinction lightning. Everything was for naught. She shook her head sadly. Clara was placed in her cradle as she got tired of their banter. She slept peacefully. Fortunately, your grandfather managed to erase its consciousness before dying. The previous first prince's son got assassinated, so it is now ripe for the taking. Claire grinned. If you use that lightning elemental to cultivate your essence gathering cultivation, then you will surely be more powerful than cultivators who cultivate in other sky-grade essence gathering techniques. Claire smiled resplendently at the thought that her son will only get more powerful steadily as time passes by. Children only concentrate on one cultivation system at a time. Only geniuses cultivate in 2 cultivation systems at the same time, while Davis happens to cultivate all 3 at the same time. The next day at the study, Davis was sitting crossed-legged, studying the meridian refinement stage. Apparently, looks like I have to refine the meridians in my body. And since I would cultivate with a lightning-attributed manual, I should make lightning pass through my meridians, a sky-grade one at that. I'm definitely done for. This is obviously shock treatment. Is not this even crueler than body-tempering cultivation? His mind floated with images of people getting fried by lightning. Davis, are you ready? The door suddenly opened and Claire walked in. Yes, I'm ready, Davis gulped. They then proceeded to a place that is designed for closed-door cultivations. Relax. Dad and Mom are here to help you suppress the sky-grade lightning elemental. Do not fret over it. Claire comforted him. She can obviously see his nervousness when she suddenly walked in. Davis nodded. He did not say anything. Then they made their way to a room in this area. There were more than 10 rooms in this place. Claire opened the door and walked inside. He followed her. Inside, there was a formation that was capable of suppressing the power of lightning, elemental to a certain extent. Logan was seated at the side, obviously waiting for these 2 to come, even though it's just easier for all 3 of them to send soul transmissions. They did not communicate through that way. They did not want to reveal Davis' soul cultivation under any circumstance. Dad, let's start. Davis did not want to show weakness in front of his dad. Are not you hasty? Logan commented and walked forwards. Let's begin then. Logan looked at Claire and they both nodded their heads. Davis, sit inside the formation's heart and refine your meridians in accordance with the extinction lightning punishment. We will help you in suppressing the lightning elemental. Davis nodded. He took a deep breath before sitting in the middle of the formation. He began refining his meridians. The formation housed the fallen extinction lightning. It works as a suppressing formation. His parents began sending the lightning energy to Davis with utmost caution. Davis' meridians were already strengthened because of tyrant body secrets. He circulated the lightning-attributed energy in his body, slowly. He felt a tingling sensation at the start followed by a burning feeling. It felt as if he was electrocuted and corroded at the same time. Its effects were negligible since it's being suppressed by both his parents and the formation. So this is the fallen extinction lightning, really powerful. It's not bad. I do not feel much pain. Good thing. Mom and Dad are here. If not, I would have to cultivate from the bottom of food chain if I were really an orphan. His thoughts ran astray. He felt confident enough to cultivate even without the utmost concentration. He slowly repeated the process again and again, till he refined his meridians to the low level. The process lasted for about 5 hours. He advanced to the meridian refinement stage. Just when he was about to shout out in excitement, a voice ran on his mind. Do not lose your concentration. We will help you absorb the fallen extinction lightning. Immediately focus your soul on absorbing it now. Davis could feel his soul being invaded by the lightning elemental. He began absorbing it into his soul. Pain. He was filled with extreme pain. It felt like his thoughts were going haywire. He almost lost concentration, but continued to grit his teeth. He knew he would not be able to last longer. So he concentrated again, using his whole consciousness, this time to succeed without caring for any repercussions. The process lasted for 5 minutes before he fainted of exhaustion, which felt like an eternity to him. Logan and Claire both heaved a sigh of relief. They knew he succeeded in absorbing the fallen star lightning, and it was only possible thanks to his powerful soul. After a period of time, Davis woke up. He checked his soul and saw a pentagram-shaped black lightning residing within. It maintained a certain distance from the death note. Seeing that both did not interfere with each other, he heaved a sigh of relief. He then checked his surroundings. He was still in the same room. He saw his parents passionately kissing each other. They were so into it that they did not notice Davis waking up. Even a slight movement should be able to alert them. Logan locked his lips with Claire's. He held her waist, and she held his head. Her eyes seemed sad for some reason, and at the same time, her lips were savoring his taste as if it did not want to let go. It did not seem like they were doing it for excitement. Davis did not make a sound. He stayed silent for a period of time before they separated from each other's lips. He did not hear them talking. He imagined that they must have used soul transmission to speak with each other. After a few seconds, Davis trembled as if waking up just now. They immediately separated from each other's embrace. Claire's face was red, while Logan's lower wear had a tint. Davis chose to ignore it altogether. He closed his eyes and acted as if he was checking his state. That gave them enough time to be normal again. Something must have happened, he thought. It was not normal for them to act like that in front of me. Wait, something seems to be wrong in my soul. Davis was startled. He immediately released his soul sense. It extended up to 500 meters. This. I reached peak-level nascent soul stage. Logan and Claire smiled. Davis forgot that lightning can temper his soul, much less a sky-grade lightning elemental. Logan and Claire were both ecstatic that their son was able to achieve this feat of cultivating all 3 cultivation systems at the same time. They were even more extremely proud when they realized he was just 5 years old. Davis was able to use his first layer of extinction lightning judgment. The first layer provided the ability to amplify his body with lightning. He can amplify his legs to move faster, clad his arms in lightning to paralyze and corrode his opponents. He can even use it on his own brain to increase his thought process and analytical ability. But that requires an extremely high control over his lightning, or else he would just fry his own brain. The fallen extinction lightning, with its property, increased the effectiveness of his powers and battle prowess. After all, it adds an annihilative and corrosive effect to the lightning he uses. Since Davis has achieved basic proficiency in all 3 cultivation systems, he wanted to test the limitations of his death note as soon as possible. He did not even know if it worked the same way or not anymore. Half a year passed. Logan, Claire, and Hendrik's son taught him more about cultivation during this half-year period, but they only taught him for an hour every day. They seemed like they were busy with something. He did not get any chances to use his death note. He felt like he was always being monitored. His parents were acting even more strange. It was especially the case in this half a year. He knew that something fishy was going on here, but since his parents would not tell him, then he would not ask. Davis went to ask his parents if he could practice his powers on live targets. His parents thought for a moment before they refused. Davis was adamant on it and proposed an idea to them. "Dad, if you do not let me practice on live targets, how can I be an expert?" "Enough, Davis. How can you be adamant like this? You are just 5 years old. There's no need for you to fight people." "All right, Dad. How about I take a step back and try my powers on restricted opponents who are in the prison?" "Huh, why do not you take me on then?" "But Dad, I will not even be able to beat you. You are too powerful." Claire, who was beside, looked at both of them and laughed. She sent a soul transmission to Logan. Logan's face changed. He then sighed and gave permission for him to go to the prison. "Only this time will I be yielding to you. There's no next time. You hear me?" Logan made a face full of anger and berated him. "Yes, thanks, Dad," Davis beamed. "Let's go." Logan then walked in the direction of the prison. "Okay," Davis followed. He put on a black robe to cover himself. On the way, for some reason, the palace guards and maids acted like they did not see him. They only greeted the emperor, and the atmosphere seemed tense. He could feel that a soul technique was activated on him. He then knew that he was being cloaked. Is it so bad for a kid of a royalty to go to the prison? Is that the reason? Davis thought. He could not understand the intricacies of the royal family. They then arrived in front of the prison. Logan stopped there, while the prison guards went on their knees and greeted him. The guards looked at the emperor with awe and ecstasy. The leader of prison guards stepped up and bowed again. Only his face could be seen, which was pale. He was wearing a blue armor tinted with yellow at the sides. "You are reporting to the emperor. My name is Bowen." The previous leader of the prison guards colluded with the rebels. Fortunately, Logan, who found his betrayal, managed to kill him before he released all the prisoners. "Bowen, I see." The two of them then stayed silent. It can be seen that they are communicating through soul transmission. Bowen had a confused face, then nodded his head vehemently. Then all three of them entered the prison. Logan stopped cloaking Davis at this point. "You understand, right?" Logan asked him with a ruthless glare. "Yes, Your Majesty." Bowen replied meekly. He understood that at this point he should not do anything the emperor dislikes. Logan then left Davis there. "Prince, let me show you around the prison first." "Okay," he cheerfully replied. Bowen then took him around the prison. While walking in the corridor, he informed Davis about the prisoners. There were cells on both sides of the corridor, which held the prisoners. While he explained, he just told about their crimes while leaving the gory part behind. After Davis heard about what he said, he could not help but cringe. Their crimes were devoid of humanity. But he did not stop listening to him, nor did he command him to stop. Davis looked at the prisoners. All of them looked ruthless with no hint of humanity, while some seem to act as if they are innocent. And then there are prisoners who looked at him with lascivious eyes. Davis' eyes turned red. He glared at those prisoners one by one. He thought for a moment before questioning Bowen. "Bowen," he suddenly interrupted him. "Yes, Prince." Bowen looked at him. "Why are not these prisoners put to death?" He glared at Bowen. "It's not like that, Prince. The royal capital holds a public execution each month. They are put to death one by one. It also acts as a deterrent to other criminals. Until then, they stay here waiting for their deaths." Bowen explained him. "Do you have a list of the prisoners held in here?" "I do, but what for, Prince?" Bowen was confused, but he still handed over the list from his space ring. Davis took the list and saw the name of the prisoner who was going to be executed this month. "Wagner, I saw him before, lead me to him." Davis did not reply to Bowen, he just commanded him. Yes, Bowen did not refuse, though he was confused. What is a 5-year-old child going to do meeting a prisoner? Make him change his ways? Heck, I will be damned. Davis and Bowen made their way to the cell where Wagner was kept in. The formation in that cell was active. That prevented Wagner from being able to use his power. It also made him unable to see what was going on outside. Davis then saw a circle switch near the cell. He pressed it. Wagner turned around his face. He saw a small kid with a prison guard. Do not tell me you brought a brat for me to enjoy." He viewed Davis with lascivious eyes. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Davis only asked a question. He already made up his mind, but he still wanted an impetus. Of course, it's to brutally murder an *********. Wagner's breathing hastened. He was likely thinking of doing that. Davis was disgusted. Wagner did not care for anything, as he was fated to die this month. It did not matter whether he offended a big person or not, much less a child. "I understand," Davis replied calmly. He then switched off the mechanism. "You understand?" Bowen was utterly dumbfounded. He could not understand where this conversation was headed to. "Bowen, leave the prison," Davis commanded. "I cannot do that, my prince." Bowen was stunned before he replied calmly. "You will not listen to my command." Davis narrowed his eyes. "I was told by the emperor to protect you no matter what happens." Bowen shook his head. "I see, then I will have no choice but to say to my father that you molested me in the prison." What? Bowen could not believe his ear. What kind of words did this 5-year-old child utter? His mind momentarily stopped working. I said that I will have no choice but to say that you raped me in the prison. That is totally different than what you said before." Bowen started sweating heavily. Could it be that all the royal family members are like this? Prince, do not make this difficult for me. I was only tasked to protect you in this prison. Do you think my father will not act against you? Do you think he will believe your words or mine?" Davis asked profoundly, as if there's an underlying meaning in it. "What did I do to deserve this? This child is a demon in human form." Bowen was on the verge of tears. He did not know whether to laugh or cry. "How about this? You're only tasked to protect me, right? Go stand guard near the entrance of the prison. With this you can both protect me and do what I told you, right? You think these prisoners who are suppressed by the formation can harm me? All right." Bowen considered a moment before yielding. "Good, and you're not allowed to use your senses on me. You're not allowed to peek either. I will come to you to get food every 4 hours. By this, you can verify my safety every now and then." I understand." What else could he reply? He already accepted his conditions once, and it did seem that he was able to protect him through this method. He at least had the confidence that no matter what happened, he would be able to protect him in the prison. Only he could not understand that why the prince forbid him from using his soul sense on him. He imagined that it must have to do something with the royal family's secret, so he did not dare to ask. Bowen then left that part of the corridor and made his way to the entrance of the prison. Davis checked his surroundings before summoning his death note. Black aura surrounded him as it changed into a hazy appearance. A note appeared on his hand. It was pure black in color at both sides of the note. There was not anything written on the cover. He opened the note and turned the pages. It was pure white, without a single speckle of dust. He pressed the switch again, only to see Wagner moving his right hand up and down. "Honestly, there's no redemption for a bastard like you." Davis wrote his name while he felt disgusted. He will be sure to give him a worse death. 3 days later, Davis was still in the prison, experimenting the death note. In the royal castle throne hall, Logan was seated in his throne while Claire sat beside him. Both of their face looked grave. The whole throne room was crowded, even though it was 100 m long and wide. People were assembled here, ranging from middle-class positions to high-class position holders in the royal palace and the army. The atmosphere here was tense. No one dared to utter a word, afraid that they might be cast out or outright killed. ****, a sound made from opening the door of the throne hall was heard. The people shuddered as if it was a crack from the hell. An old man with a great disposition walked in with great strides. He was covered in a dark blue armor. He held his helmet in his arms. He walked forwards until he was in line with 5 other men who were clad in different wardrobes. He kneeled down with one leg on the floor and clasped his hands. Reporting to the emperor, he took a deep breath. "The Albert Kingdom, which is under our jurisdiction, has been conquered by invading forces 2 days ago." Beads of sweat formed on his face. We were unable to defend against the invasion of the combined alliance of the Raven Empire and Trider Empire. He kowtowed. "We were made to retreat in the face of the giant threat, and I cowardly made the decision for the army to retreat to the royal capital. Please let this coward to die 1,000 times for this mistake, Your Majesty." He immediately drew his sword and proceeded to stab it into his heart. Bang, a powerful energy came out from nowhere and made the sword fell out of his hand. He stared blankly, not knowing who did it. "It's fine, this Majesty forgives you, Randall," Logan replied calmly. "Instead of making our army die a cruel and meaningless death, you made the right choice by giving the order to tactically retreat to our royal capital in exchange for your own reputation." Randall had tears in his eyes. He hardened his heart and made a great sacrifice by ruining his own reputation. He cared for his subordinates, so he could not let them die a meaningless death. He did not think anyone or even the new emperor would understand him. So when he came to the royal palace, he was prepared to die by taking his own life in return for his mistake. Logan knew that Randall was a loyal commander in the army. His father would praise him a lot for his bravery and courage, but he also mentioned how he was compassionate and loyal. Logan also knew that Randall's subordinates loved and obeyed him, so losing him would mean a great loss to the already weakened empire, as the army morale would be all-time low. Logan should have outright beheaded Randall for his mistakes by himself to establish his authority in the throne hall. But doing so was foolish, as it would only lead to dissatisfaction and chaos among his men. In fact, he had already doubted whether there were any people planning to desert from this empire. How dare you show your face in front of the emperor after that miserable defeat? Immediately get out by yourself. A handsome middle-aged man with sharp features berated Randall. He had green hair that was neck-length long. He was the head of the Calden family. Now, Duke Evan Calden, there's no need for that. Our Majesty has already forgiven him. Another middle-aged man with a calm face replied. He had red hair that was waist-length long. He was the head of the Nolan family. HMPH, you are in support of a coward in the midst of a war. Duke John Nolan, Duke Calden questioned. There's no need to fight among ourselves now, and show some restraint. You're in front of the Emperor, Duke Calden. Hendrik's son calmly interjected as if he was tired of this farce. Duke Calden harumphed and said nothing more. He was not that afraid of an emperor that was just a little more powerful than him. What he did not know was that Logan had already broken through to adult soul stage. If he knew, then he would have not dared to be this disrespectful to the emperor. The other two were silent, as if this had nothing to do with them. They were the leaders of the Ruthless Sword sect and Piercing Dragon sect. Both of the sects were sky-grade sects. The destruction of an empire has nothing to do with them, but since they have connections to the royal family previously, there will probably be a chance for them to get eliminated by the invading empires. They were here to decide whether to help the empire cross over this calamity or not. Enough, Logan echoed. His voice influenced everyone here visibly. Adult soul stage. The five of them were astonished. They then replied in unison. Congratulations to the Emperor on breaking through to adult soul stage. The crowd in the back echoed as well. Logan nodded his head. Randall, when will they invade the royal capital? Logan questioned. Reporting to the Emperor, the invading empires will march here in a day. Randall replied to the best of his knowledge. There was a momentary silence in the throne hall. This is bad. There's no way we will be able to survive. Should we run? Various whispers and soul transmissions were swirling around the throne hall simultaneously. Silence, Hendrik's son bellowed. The crowd was horrified and shut their mouths. Logan knew that this was hopeless. Most likely the probable situation is that they would have to escape and reclaim the empire later. Logan was stuck in a mire now. On one hand, he felt like he had to protect his family no matter what. On the other hand, if he escaped, he felt like he was acting opposite to whatever he learned in his life and that he would have no face to meet his Lorette family ancestors after death. The Lorette family heavily values morals and victory. From an early age, Logan was influenced by these values. To run and leave his empire to be pillaged is not that just the opposite to its teachings. Suddenly, a war horn sounded out outside the capital. Everyone was suddenly petrified. A random guard came inside the throne room with hurried strides and reported, "Your Majesty, this is bad. The invaders are behind our northern gates." Logan had an ugly face. He immediately looked at Claire. His heart was almost convinced to escape when, "Your Majesty, do you plan to escape?" The two sect leaders asked in unison with a cold face. Logan was startled. He shot down a glare at those two sect leaders, trying to gain something out of their face. He could vaguely see that they were not afraid of the consequences of betraying him. He knew that if he tried to escape, these two could betray him any time they see fit. They would probably hand over his head to appease the invading empires. A hand grabbed Logan's palm. He turned back to see Claire smiling beautifully. Her smile made him remember the vow they took together when they married. "We live together and die together." Logan tightly grabbed her hand and nodded at her. He then turned around to them and majestically said, "Escape. Are you two so afraid of death that you would support the prospect of me escaping so that you could escape yourselves with face?" The two sect leaders' face turned immediately red, and just when they were about to counterattack. "I'm going to war. If you have the guts, follow me or else scram the hell out of my empire," he shouted with fervor and made his way out of the throne room while heading towards the north gate of the royal capital. Claire also followed behind. The two sect leaders were left with no choice but to follow. The other four of them also followed behind the emperor, as he walked with a great disposition. Seeing that the emperor himself was leading them, the crowd automatically followed them. Logan immediately sent a soul transmission to Hendrik's son. "Escape with Davis and Clara." Hendrik's son made a slight pause in his steps, but kept walking immediately. "Clara is in the Empress quarters while Davis is in the prison, adventuring. Find a chance to slip out and immediately secure them." Logan then immediately told Hendrik's son on how to deactivate the formation guarding the Empress quarters. As for what that formation was for, one could guess easily. Logan then turned around his head, as if checking who were all currently following behind him. Hendrik's son slightly nodded his head, so anyone did not notice. Logan's soul cultivation was too powerful for them to detect his soul transmission. They then continued to travel towards the north gate. Not even halfway there, Hendrik's son suddenly echoed, "Your Majesty, your subordinate has forgot his weapon in the royal castle. Without that, I would not be able to use my full strength. Your subordinate will quickly return once I retrieve my weapon back." "What, are you scared? Are you trying to escape?" Logan shot a glare at him. "I would not dare. My emperor, if you command me to die, then I will quickly kill myself to prove my innocence." Hendrik's son trembled as if his plan was seen through. The other five of them thought that it was weird. They heard that Hendrik's son was brave and courageous, as well as a loyal man. They did not expect him to back out at this last moment. "Kill yourself then," Logan commanded with a cold-hearted tone. "Yes." Hendrik's son severely trembled. He took out a normal sword from his spatial ring and stabbed at his heart. Puchai bang just when his sword was already halfway to his heart after piercing the body. An energy rebounded the sword from his hands. "I now know your loyalty. You can go and quickly come back. We need your strength in this war." Logan replied, his face still cold. "Yes, your Majesty." Hendrik's son then left to the royal castle while healing the wound in his chest. "Does anyone here would like to get their weapons back?" Logan asked with an indifferent face. He was emitting dense killing intent that made the other five shut their mouths. Logan then continued to travel while the others followed behind. "Was not that a lame reason to use? But thanks to his act, I was able to successfully send him out without much suspicion." Logan slightly grinned while he started flying. Revolving core stage experts were able to fly after all. "Let's make haste," he commanded and sped off to the north gate. 10 minutes later, Hendrik's son made his way to the royal castle and went to his room before sneaking out stealthily. He arrived in front of the Empress quarters and knocked out the hidden guards and maids. He went inside and took Clara. Clara was sleeping, so she did not notice and cry. He covered her with a black sheet, then made his way out. Just when he headed out, he saw a flash of light. A blinding light slashed at his head. Hendrik's son immediately ducked down. He immediately retreated back and saw the attacker's clothes. "Assassin. Nice dodge. Brother, are you here to abduct that baby as well?" "Yes," Hendrik's son replied with a hoarse voice. You sure are kind. Only knocking out those guards." Clara, who was in his hands, was startled awake. She immediately cried upon seeing strange people. "Brother, just leave the baby. I will not make this difficult for you. A trash trying to waste my time." Hendrik's son immediately took out his sword. He released his peak-level silver stage aura. "Ah, brother, it's a misunderstanding. You can have the baby and we will have the..." Boom, Hendrik's son immediately covered the distance between him and slashed. He then made his way out the palace to the prison hurriedly. "Did they find out where the first prince is? This is bad. Logan Loret, get out here now and face our emperor." "Logan Loret, you coward, get the fuck here now. Cowardly Logan, show yourself." Various degenerating shouts were heard behind the northern gates of the royal capital. The soldiers of the two invading empires were throwing out various provocations. They were not afraid, as there were two emperors standing behind them. Ha ha ha, it seems like we will be able to win this war. An hearty laugh sounded out. Surely, did not we ally for this endeavor? Jej, an eerie laugh sounded out. It almost sounded depraved. The man who heartily laughed looked fat. He had two beauties on his thighs. He was holding their waists while flirting with them and commenting about the war. He was the emperor of Raven Empire. The other man who laughed eerily looked thin and cunning. He just provided these two beauties to the fat man, either enriching his relationship with the fat man or plotting something. He was the emperor of Trider Empire. Two bastards who dared to invade my Lorette Empire. Come out. A voice could be heard shouting out loud that it resounded through the whole army. Ah, he is here. A middle-aged man beside the Emperor Raven voiced. TCH, how can I enjoy these beauties now? His timing cannot be any more perfect. Emperor Raven had dissatisfaction on his face. Emperor Raven can enjoy these beauties later. I'm sure these gifts will be worth your time. A voluptuous woman who was wearing revealing clothes chimed in with an alluring voice. She was beside Emperor Trider. Haha, you are right, my daughter-in-law. Emperor Raven laughed. The four of them flew out and stared at Logan and his subordinates. Haha, little emperor, you sure are powerful. Adult soul stage around 30 years old. Jej, both of the emperors cackled eerily. Greetings, allow me to formally introduce myself. I am the Emperor of Raven Empire, Mike Raven. Emperor Raven introduced himself to the crowd. Ken Trider, Emperor of Trider Empire. Are not you ashamed of yourselves, teaming up to beat an empire which has already lost its strength during the rebellion? Logan questioned coldly. Shame, can you eat it? Can you change it to cultivation resources? Hey, stop your nonsense, little emperor. Emperor Raven laughed. Jeej, we do have shame, but do you think that we are supposed to attack when you are strong, naive? This is the world of the strong, weak ones can only beg. Emperor Trider grinned deviously. Oh, you think you can defeat us with this lineup? Do not think you will be safe enough to leave in one piece. Ha ha, you are right. Everyone, Mike Raven will not destroy anyone who does not help the Lorette Emperor. In fact, I will award you with the plundered riches. How about it, those behind him? Emperor Raven shot a greedy look to the people behind him. Logan was waiting for this exact moment as well. He wants to see who and all will choose to desert him in this hopeless war. But right at this moment, he and Claire felt the soul marks they left on Davis being erased.